Did you know that?
We are live, everybody.
Oh, I better not say that then.
We have got a couple giveaways to do tonight. Fun, fun. Bob was just telling me he was born ready, and every time someone says that, I remember my cousin. My cousin's name was Mitzi Reddy, and
Mitzi ready.
she used to tell everybody she was born ready.
Well, she's definitely was.
Yes.
Definitely was.
And don't ask me why my aunt gave her a dog's name. I don't know.
Mitzi
Mitzi, yeah. That was a
is a
real
dog's
popular
name?
dog. That was a real popular dog's name for a long time.
Oh, yeah,
Hi,
I remember
Sandy.
that.
Well, tonight, guys, guess what? Merdul was supposed to be here tonight, but he's not feeling good, so we have no guest. But we have some fun stuff to do. And I
He
got two
apologized.
giveaways tonight that I'm so excited because it's been like a month or so since I've done a giveaway, and I love doing giveaways. You guys
Me
realize
too.
that I have given away over 300 pieces of art, original
Yeah,
art, the little cards,
that that
a
sounds a
couple
little
big
low.
pieces of original art. Yeah, that's just the
Yeah,
cards. It's been over 300 cards and prints and horses, which I still got to get in the mail because my truck is broke down and I can't get to the post office unless I have the money to get a taxi to get there. And we have one taxi service in town, so that kind of sucks. But anyway, on to the giveaways. First one, I did this just like random dog off the internet. Let's see if anybody can figure out who that is.
it's like some kind of old hound.
Huh? And I've got charcoal on my fingers.
It's like some old hound.
Some old hound, yeah. So there's that one. I'm going to give that away. And show a close up.
Thanks, Rat.
Thank you, Rack.
Your co-host is a distinguished celebrity.
Hi, Holly. So this is going to be the first giveaway. Holly, it's good to see you. Um, didn't she? Wasn't she supposed to have won the giveaway on
Yeah,
dance, but she wasn't there?
yeah, she was, but she
Yeah,
didn't say I'm here.
yeah, you missed it. You actually won the giveaway first on dance, but you weren't there to say you were there.
The blind cave fishes.
I was so excited when you won too.
I know. I was
Okay,
congratulating
we
her.
got puppy to give away and a. Oh, I can ask Rack. What kind of seagull is this, Rack? It's got a little bit of a ring around its eye, and I don't know what kind it is, but we have this seagull to give away.
I bet Rack will know.
That's what I was thinking. I bet Rack would know.
Yep.
And my camera is showing a more bright yellow than there's actually there.
He used to know quite a bit about seagulls.
Anyway, winter plumage of the laughing gull. See, I knew you would know what kind it was.
See? And right under the buzzer, too.
And if there's any interest, I also have a small drawing to offer up for auction tonight. If there's no interest or not enough people, I'll just wait till Saturday. But we have a drawing of a female wood duck. And personally, it's not really showing the color very good. There's a lot of purple and stuff in it. But I love female wood ducks. They're like real subtle colored, but I really love them.
I hope I win
It's
both
got a
of
little
them.
white ring around their eye and everything. But anyway, we have a female wood duck. So that's what we're going to do tonight. So we'll give away those two little drawings, a seagull and the random dog off the internet. I bet
That
most of
dog
you can
looks
guess what
mangy.
dog it is.
That dog looks a little mangy to me, Pam.
Looks mangy. Yeah, I might have to find out whoever owns it and turn them into the Humane Society.
Right. Right. I don't remember sending you a view of that, Yazi, from the profile.
What's that?
Nothing. Never mind.
That was actually off of a screenshot from your stream tonight. So there you go. Hi, Jesse. Tonight we're giving away a couple drawings. We're giving away a
Hey,
seagull,
Jesse.
which is, what did he say? Winter plumage of the laughing gull? Is that what he said?
A laughing gull.
Winter plumage laughing gull. Yep. So we got a little seagull, and we have a random dog off. I should really wash the charcoal off my finger, huh?
Skipper came in
Random dog
cussing.
off the internet. This is what happens when I draw. My hands get black and colors on them.
I just got.
So there, we're going to give that away.
Oh, home from
And
Hawaii.
the seagull. And then I've got a little drawing of a female wood duck to offer up for auction if anybody's interested.
Well, Pam,
It is
why
a
don't
4x6
you?
frame to a 5x7. I haven't hooked it in the mat yet because I have a roll of special tape that is acid free, and I don't know where I put it, and I don't want to use regular tape on it, but it will go in this mat, which is a 5x7.
I wish you'd consider auctioning off one of those giveaways to get you some gas money or get something you need.
Some water. I gotta go.
Some water to drink. Yeah. You give away too much stuff, Pam. You're too generous.
I haven't given away anything for a while, so I really wanted to do some giveaways tonight.
Well, I know, but guess what? You're restricted to one giveaway. Yazi told me.
One giveaway. Which one should I give away? I will do that one giveaway. Which, everybody vote. Which giveaway should I do?
Let me see.
The laughing gull or the Yazi? Or, I mean, the random dog on the internet.
The random dog. Give away the gull, because that's what I'm going to win.
Give away the...
I don't know, though. You might want to auction off the gull. Nobody's going to want that dog.
Everybody's going to want that dog. That is the cutest
dog. What do people say? What do people say?
The gull.
Bird, yeah.
The bird. The bird is the word. Hi, Chewy. Chew says the bird. Auction off the bird, or give away the bird. So, and Jesse says give away the bird. Anybody else have a preference for which one?
Benny Viper said to give Pam away. Benny said
so far we've got 2 votes to give away the bird. Hi, Daniel. And Chewy says he sent you an email, Bob. Don't go answering it right now. So what we're doing right now is I have 2 little cards and we're going to give away one of them. So whichever one everybody wants. So we have a bird, a seagull, a laughing gull in winter plumage. Thank you, Rack, for letting me know what kind of...
Bunny said Yazi, damn it, not just Yazi.
And this is a random dog off the internet. So everybody vote whether they want me to give away the bird or the random dog off the internet.
That light seems awful bright.
Oh my God, that you're showing your age, Jesse. Showing your age. Skipper says give away the bird.
And Skipper's missing Bunny.
We got 1 vote for the random dog and like 3 or 4 votes for the bird. And Bluefish says the bird. So I am more than likely going to do a giveaway on the bird here in a little bit.
Well, I thought you were going to do it right then so we'd have better odds.
We've
No?
only got 20 people in here. Should we do a giveaway right away so that the people who got here first have a better chance?
Of course, I think that. True. I mean, they should have got here
Ginger,
from
hi.
there. Yeah,
I'm
Ginger's here,
almost done
so
with the little one for Ginger too, and getting close to being done on our kitty. So we're gonna give away in a little bit here this bird, which is a laughing gull.
I bet Ginger'd rather have that random dog.
And then I guess we'll sell the random dog, or see if nobody's interested in buying the random dog, I'll give him away too. So we have a random dog off the internet. Oh,
Yeah, fresh off my live stream.
before I have to feed something, or my sister's cat has more kittens. Oh no, is your sister's cat having kittens right now? Land giraffe, hello. So what I'm going to do, oh, and then we're going to see if anybody's interested in putting a bid in on this, which I haven't fastened it in the mat yet because I got to find my no acetate.
But we don't have Merdule or anybody
And
to run the auction.
no, we don't. We'll just have to do it. So this is a female wood duck. It's not showing the colors really well, but this is a female wood duck.
Somebody bid on the dog.
$20 for the random dog. I'm not auctioning it. I think I'm going to. What did I do? Oh, yeah, I am going to auction the dog. Should we go ahead and do it now? Since we have a $20 bid?
You got money up there.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and we will auction off the random dog on the internet, which makes me laugh every time I say that. Because everybody knows it's Yazzie.
I can't tell it, Chauncey. Okay. Awesome, Christopher.
I was going to not tell Bob who it was or tell him that I was doing it. And then just hold
Like
it up.
I wouldn't recognize my dog.
Random dog on the internet and see if he'd recognize him. So I guess we're bidding on random dog on the internet right now. And we've got $20 from Rack, and Daniel says 25 for random. $30 from Rack.
Skipper, you too slow.
Now,
warning,
it might take me a little while to get to the post office because, as many of you know, I have a broken truck. And the only way I can get to the post office is if I get a taxi, which I am going to do, but it might take me a little while to save up the money for both mailing and taxi.
Pam, where is that truck? Is it sitting on the road?
No, it's sitting in my driveway.
Oh, okay.
Which is a good thing. I would be in an absolute panic if it was on the road and going to get towed. I would be in a total panic, but as it is right now, it's been just sitting in my driveway for 3 weeks now, waiting for me to
Ginger and Daniel.
Oh, we got a 35 and a 35. And Ginger was first this. And what we're auctioning off, then we're going to give away the bird, but right now we're doing the auction on random dog.
They're going to have to duke it out.
Oh, no, Daniel says 40. aka Yazzie. Yep. Oh, I shouldn't. I told Bob when I started working on it what I was doing, and then I thought I shouldn't have told him and just see if he recognizes him. And Ginger says 45. And then after this,
Oh,
we're going to give away a drawing.
will you do? Oh, Bunny, I could get it. I've got a great picture of Yazzie. She did from a picture for me. But thank you, Bunny. I thought I had it right here. I dropped 12 little plants and then 7 flower pots right before we went live. So I'm going to clean up this area tonight. It's 45 ginger. Wonder what a taxi will cost.
Oh, Christopher is doing the auction. Thank you, Christopher.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been quiet all day today in all the streams. It must be nice in different places. People must be like doing stuff. Because I was lurking on several streams today, and it seems like all the streams were slow today.
Make that 8 flower pots. If Hippie will be pulling a late nighter. I don't know. Hey, Mama. Let's see.
Okay, we got 45 going once to Ginger.
I do, Holly.
Oh, show the drawing again? Okay.
It's a card drawing. She wouldn't let me get a big one.
Now, it's shown up as yellow on my camera, but it's not really, there's not really that much yellow in it. It's more kind of a pinkish, orangish yellow. But, cameras and drawings don't always mix.
Yeah.
It's not really showing the detail very good either. I should have got a better picture of it today, but I couldn't find the cord to plug my phone into the computer to transfer the photo to my computer, so I didn't do it yet.
So you just printed that out?
Hmm?
I'm kidding.
Bid is at 45. Going twice.
It is Yazzie, Sandy. He must be in bed. Here he is. Come here, Yazzie, and see somebody will get your picture. Come here. Let's see.
Okay, we want a side view, Yazzie. Side view.
Talking to him. You see? See? Look over here. Oh, there was a cat, but you missed it. You want to add Yazzie to your collection? You better hurry up. Hurry. Oh, are you the high bid then? Hey, Danny. And show the picture.
Huh?
Show the picture, they said.
I did. I just did.
Well, they said show it again. Oh, just them? Okay. I was getting Yazzie up. I didn't see.
Hi, random dog on the internet.
Yazzie, you really showed out today.
So when Christopher says that bid is final to Ginger, then next we're gonna give away the bird, which is winter plumage of a laughing gull.
I wonder how it got that name. It's because of its call or its
I bet
facial
you because of
expression.
its call.
Yep. Danny said slap the like.
We'll give it to Ginger for 45. That's good.
Yep. See, I'm glad you did that.
Hi, Kiwi.
Yeah, I was just glad you did that.
Oh, Kiwi's puppy's using the doggy door.
Oh,
I used to have a cat door on one of my doors, and but he got so excited when I was outside and he wasn't that he stuck his head through the cat door and like pushed the whole thing out. So he was like halfway out the door with the cat door hanging around his neck.
oh, buddy. I miss old buddy.
I miss Buddy so much.
No.
Yep, Ginger knows how to do it. So Ginger is the winner of the random dog on the internet.
Yeah, so Ginger's got a picture of you now. Yep.
Do I have wolf drawings? Every time I've done a wolf, I have sold it so fast that I don't have any right now. But I probably will be doing some more, but wolves are extremely popular. I mean, they're probably the thing that sells the fastest when I do them. Like as soon as I post them on Facebook, they're gone.
Hmm.
I've done several big ones.
If you did wolves, I would pay good money, Danny said, as opposed to bad money.
Okay, thank you, Ginger. And is everybody ready to do a giveaway?
Wow, I feel like I just sat down. All right.
Okay, so the rules of the giveaway. Yes, I do, Ginger. It'll be a little bit because I got to either get my truck running or pay to use it, get a taxi. We don't have buses here at all. There's no public transportation here and only one taxi service in town. Well, actually, there's two, but one of them just runs from the bars, runs people home from the bars at night.
I've got an idea, Pam.
What?
Get you Honey up to some old codger, one of the juke joints down the road there, and see if he'll tinker with your truck.
No.
Okay.
It's not worth it. Definitely not worth it. And
I
I do
know.
have a really good mechanic. It's just I've got to get my rent paid this month, and then um, anything after that is going to go to the truck.
Yeah, that's another thing. Only Oscar, she needs to start charging for shipping. Every one of us that ships a fish or something, you have to pay shipping. Just saying.
You guys keep coming up with these ideas, and it's not necessary. The shipping, like on the card to Ginger, is only going to be like a standard, regular postage stamp to send it. I fish streams, but like I say, I've got a little bit of a problem making it to the post office right now. So,
But the auction stuff, the big stuff, is not. That's what she's saying. What more money into my salt water?
just for the tape. Yeah, I should charge money for the tape, but nobody could afford that shit.
That tape ought to be $7 or $8, Pam.
Uh,
Tape is not cheap. Damn. Holly won the blind cavefish
yeah, but she
tonight.
wasn't there to claim it, so he had to give it to somebody else.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to do a giveaway, and the giveaway is going to be for the seagull. A little drawing of a laughing gull. I wish my camera would pick it up better. I wonder if
Too soon.
settings.
What'd you say, Christopher? I gotta see that. I think we missed something good.
Try switching settings and see if it shows up better.
Wait, restriction.
Okay. A little bit better. Maybe. Anyway, I'm going to give this drawing away. It is a laughing gull. And I can send it anywhere. It doesn't matter where you're from. And so it can go overseas and stuff because I just drop it into a card and send it. So, the rules of the giveaway, anybody can win. And, oh, I got to pull up a random number generator. I'm going to, I'll generate a number randomly between 1 and 75. And you get one guess per person. Wait till I say start. Hang on, I'm pulling up the random number generator. So we're going to do a number between 1 and 75. And I'll show everybody when I generate the number. And anyway, what's the other rules? One guess per person. And is there any
Closest without going over.
1 to 75, wait for me to say start. And, oh yeah, without going over. I knew there was something else. Whoever gets closest to 75 without going over is the winner. So we're going to do start. Yeah, they named Holly first, but if you aren't there and say that you're there, then he goes on to somebody else, and she didn't respond, so she didn't win it.
She just had to feed her baby axolotls. I've got another ideal, Pam, but it's a good ideal.
Did you want a number, Bob?
I do.
What number would you like?
33, please.
33?
My ideal is instead of relying on that number generator that I could just think of a number.
What number would that be? 33?
Whatever mine. 33. Right? It's the best thing I've heard all night. Just didn't see the end. Yeah. He has a long goodbye, so yeah, a lot of people start leaving, Bunny. Thanks, everybody. Thanks. I just say get out. See you.
Yeah.
Right? Time to go home. Throw your trash away. I just had a filter start making a noise.
Okay, we still got numbers coming in.
How many people are in here?
32.
See, if we had done this when it was 20, I'd feel a lot more confident right now. Only one number.
Yeah, he retracted the 2 of them.
Oh,
Hi, GRB, okay. Throw out a number. I'm giving away a drawing of a laughing gull.
GRB said, hey, Yancy.
We're going to give this little drawing away. Number between 1 and 75. And you know that you can be overseas and win these little ones. Because I just drop them in a note card and get a overseas international stamp, and boom, it's sent.
Hey, Jeffrey.
Okay, how are we doing on numbers? Everybody got a number in? Uh-oh, GRB picked the number 33.
Back off, GRB. See, I knew he wasn't
Oh
here.
yeah, that's
That's
the
why I
other thing I
picked it.
usually say is if there's a tie, we do a tiebreaker between the people who died.
I'm too old to wrestle GRB. No way.
Okay, I think probably about everybody's probably got their number in, so I'm going to stop it so that I can still go back and catch all the numbers when we're done. And
Dad, so
stop.
you can wrestle.
And we're going to pull up the random number generator.
Gosh.
Random number generator. Okay. There's the random number generator, and drum roll, Bob.
Number 10.
That's not it. I didn't hit generate yet. That's just a number that was randomly there. Oh my God, number 32.
Went over.
Oh yeah, you did go over by one. That was so close.
Somebody else had 32, though, didn't they? I'm pretty sure they did. Because there was a 34 or 32. There's 31. Jeffrey Watts. Oh, no, that's. Mm-mm.
So we need to, oh, did you go up already and check? Okay, so we got number 30.
I'm looking.
So 30, oh, we got 31 for Jeffrey.
I can only go back as far as Daniel Valeos. Usually I can go all the way back.
33 for Bob and GRB. You guys were so close. 30 for Vivian. So far it looks like Jeffrey. Unless somebody got a 32 and I do not see one. So yay, it looks
Jeffrey.
Like Jeffrey is the winner. Congratulations, Jeffrey.
Awesome.
Oh, is this your first one? Good. I want everybody to end up getting at least one on these drawings that I give away. So
here,
that's
guys.
good. So send me your mailing address, and I'll put my email in here. And please copy and paste my email because it's not spelled like everybody wants to spell it. If it's not spelled correctly, it will not go through. So copy and paste my email address and send me your mailing address. Okay?
That's awesome. Awesome.
So yay! Congratulations, Jeffrey. That is pretty cool. Okay. So I can get rid of this.
I'll swap you something for that, Jeffrey.
Bob likes the birds.
I do like the birds. Got a cool lizard here.
That was a long time ago. Someday I may do another buffalo butt, though. I've done more than one.
I've got a buffalo butt, Jeffrey.
Okay, so I'm going to show everybody.
Kenny, was it you that wanted a logo? That's who it was. Did you say something maybe Pam would do one? Was that you?
No, he says he finally created a logo.
Yeah, that's what's because I was in his stream the other night. That's what's making me think Yeah, and he was in your stream too, wasn't he, before that? I think that's who it is. Yeah. Sorry, Pam. I saw that and got excited. I think it was him. Because I
Well,
don't remember
usually
things.
logos are better off done like digitally, and I don't do digital art. I mean, you can't. You could draw them and then like take a photograph of them and get them that way. But for the best quality for like doing T-shirts and stuff,
Hey,
digital art
Terry.
is the best. Hi, Terry.
Just missed a giveaway.
Yeah, you just missed the giveaway. I mean,
Damn it.
as in you just barely just missed it. I gave away a little drawing of a seagull,
Oh,
which
he's
Jeffrey
saving
wants
up. He's saving up, but he likes the giveaways. He's got to get some chameleons.
So, should I see if anybody's interested in putting a bid on the 4x6 drawing? I'll go ahead and do that. If nobody's interested, I'll save it for like Saturday or
Or
next week.
save it for an hour from now.
Or I can post it on Facebook and see if anybody is interested in it as well. But I don't have it fastened in the mat yet because of the fact that I gotta find my I have a special tape for artwork that's non-acid. But it is a female wood duck. And I guess I'll blow myself up for just a minute for it. Female wood duck drawing. It's not showing the detail very good, but that is it. A female wood duck. And oh yeah, I'll put a $50 reserve on it, and if nobody wants to give it, then I'll just hold on to it or put it on Facebook.
I'm so tempted to ask Danny what that means, but I'm not going to do it.
So female wood duck. Is anybody interested?
Can't pay attention. I know, right?
So it's got a reserve of 50 on it. And if nobody's interested, then we'll just move on and save it for another day.
Yep. But I'm glad that random duck. Oh, Daniel hit that.
On it.
Yep. He wants that duck, I think.
I like the female wood ducks. The male wood ducks are super flashy, but the females are just, I think the females are so cute with the little white around their eyes and everything.
Understated is a lot prettier, I think.
Yeah, and that's what
I really do.
The females are a lot more subdued and understated.
Yeah.
And I personally really like them.
I'll do 55 in honor of Terry's 55th birthday.
So we got 55 from Bob. Hi, Joseph.
Hey, Joe Stan.
And 55 is a really good price for this one.
Yeah. Uh-oh, Daniel. 60.
Oh, Daniel's got to beat at 60.
I can't drive 55.
You guys are all showing your age. I remember all those songs. They're old songs.
I can't drive 55. Is the song?
Yeah, that was a song that came out when, remember when they were like, made the $55 gas or $55 speed limit when there was supposedly a gas shortage. It was probably.
Yeah, but that was like in
74.
Yeah, I was going to say that's in the 70s.
Yeah,
Danny wasn't even born then.
And I forget who did the song, but I still remember the story that he came back from overseas and he got a ticket right away for doing over 55, and then he wrote that song, I Can't Drive 55.
Did Danny bid? Oh, Daniel. Oh, this has got away from me.
$70 for Daniel. You
No,
don't
you'd be
remember
wrong
that
about
song,
that.
Bob?
I don't. But Joe Stan, you'd be wrong about that. That's Chattanooga Ed or Fisher and Fever
Yeah,
James.
I gotta look up really quick while you guys are bidding and stuff. I'm gonna look up real quick to see who did the song because I forgot. And I
I
want
don't
to
know.
know.
If I heard a little bit of it, maybe hum a little bit of it, Pam. But no, I don't drive like an old
Song
lady.
by Sammy Hagar. Okay, I'm just gonna play it for a second.
I remember Sammy
I
Hagar.
don't want to get in trouble. Oh, we don't want a commercial. Commercial.
Twisted Sister.
Are we gonna start?
Screeching Tires.
Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead here.
Sounds like another song, like a rip off of another song.
I'm pretty sure this was the original one.
Bruce Springsteen, I sense a new fish song coming. I grew up with the double nickel.
Oh, I remember that song. Okay, so where are we at?
You know why Danny knows
Yeah,
it?
that
Because
came
it's,
out, like I said, in about 74, I think. Because I
I
remember
think Danny knows it from his band association and knowledge, not from being there.
But yeah, he got a ticket, so because he was coming back from someplace and didn't realize the speed limit had changed everywhere. So he got a ticket, and then he sat down and wrote that song.
Aquamate said, "Is that foreigner?" I don't know.
All right, we got
70 going once. Yeah, the old school rock. That's what I figured. Yep. I swear I didn't hear
Yes,
it.
you may
Ever heard it.
certainly be. You are totally welcome to come up now, Rack. Especially since I'm done with the auctions and the giveaway. So yeah, come on up. We got going twice. I think that's. Is it Danny? I think Danny's the one that bid on it.
It's mine, Pam.
Huh?
It's somebody else. It's meant mine, but Daniel's gonna pay for it for me.
Daniel.
Daniel.
Aquamate, hello. You missed the giveaway, darn it.
Ukulele break.
Yeah.
All he needs a
I
link.
totally agree. Music from the 60s, 70s, and 80s is the best. But then I've seen people my age saying, oh, they don't make any good music now. They still do make good music. But the 60s and 70s, especially the 70s, was the best. But they're still good songs. I mean, like Voodoo by Godsmack. That's an excellent song. I mean, if you like old rock and roll, you would love that song. There's still a lot of good music. You just have to
I like the 80s rock a lot better. I like disco. I can't believe it, but I did.
Like the 70s the best. The 70s was the best. Some of the 60s, the early 60s was like a lot of crap. You know, like mushy, slow crap in the early 60s. Towards the late 60s and early 70s is the best.
Oh, yeah, Jesse. How are the baby quails?
I saw pictures of the babies. They're so cute. Oh, they got adult feathers coming in. Nice. Oh, Bird Rack needs a link, and I almost totally missed that. Let me post it again. I shall post the link. I'm posting the link, Rack. Yeah, I remember when they had the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. It was supposed to be some deal to save gas because there was supposed to be a gas shortage. And
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Rack.
hello, hello. So are we done with the auction? I think Daniel won it.
I missed that one. Congratulations, Ginger. She won an auction there for the random internet dog. That was
Yeah,
cool.
she got the random internet dog.
That was really good drawing, Pam. Didn't you
Oh,
think so, Bob? You're a better judge.
Yeah, especially when it was just a screen grab out of the stream today.
That was pretty
Yep.
good. And then when she came up on stage there, it looked a lot like her. I was like, wow. Pam, I'm a fan of Pam's. I may just be gushing because I'm a fan of Pam. She has me brainwashed.
You're a fanboy.
Yeah, I'm fanboying. So, who won the female wood duck auction?
Daniel
Daniel.
Velez.
Oh, Daniel. He's a strong bidder. Way to go!
Yeah,
Congratulations.
he must have a ton of Pam stuff.
I've got several of Pam's wood ducks. They're one of my favorite subjects that she does.
They're fun to do, and like I say, I
You're
might
good
be
at it.
kind of weird, but the females kind of grab my heart because they aren't as flashy as the males, but I think they're just so cute, and their colors. They got
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of color in them, but it's more subtle color.
I think
Oh,
you're
an
right.
issue.
And I love the little white circle around their eyes.
Yeah, they're cryptic, so in the wild they hide, but they're striking in their own way.
Oh yeah, the males have those bright red eyes, which personally I don't care for when I'm drawing them, but it's just the way they are, what they have. But the females got dark eyes with that white circle around them, and I just think they're adorable.
You know what the prettiest animal I saw today?
What?
Um, it was Eric Furlow posted. He had gotten 6 red-eyed tree frogs.
Oh
And
yeah,
Oh
you see
yeah.
that? And
I
2
haven't
of them
seen it,
had
but
paired.
Bob,
Two,
have you ever seen those frogs in real life in person?
no, but I'm about to see them if I can find them somewhere to order them.
They're pretty nice. The Latin on them is a Gallicnus calidrius, and you probably have seen them in the daytime where they are green and someone has
Oh,
has woke them up and they have bright red eyes, blue sides. At night, this is no joke. At night, they're purple,
wow.
Oh wow.
and it's photosensitive color changing. It's really amazing. And I had them. I raised them. I bred them when I was keeping frogs, and so they're active at night and they laugh. Well, when my ex-wife would laugh, the frogs would call, and it sounds much like a human laugh. It was pretty cool.
Oh, wow. I think that's why I decided not to get them because they're nocturnal.
Yeah, they're not very active in the daytime.
He has a pair that are mating or look like they're mating. Oh, they're playing leapfrog, I guess. Anyway, they're really beautiful.
Amplexus. Well, I'll tell you, Bob, it's a fantastic terrarium experience because if you want to set up breeding conditions, it needs to be like in the rainy season, heavy rain. So a shower, a pump through a shower head, which gives you a kind of a sound element in your terrarium.
Hmm.
And if you don't have light on them, like it's overcast all the time, they may be more active, but
All
you
right.
might get to see more of that purple coloration rather
Huh.
than the green. And so the red eye is the iris, and at night when they're trying to see in the dark, the pupil expands, so you don't see
Okay.
the red eye either. It's really neat.
Oh wow. Huh.
Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
wonder if there's something comparable to them that isn't nocturnal.
Yeah, the poison dart frogs are mostly all diurnal,
Yeah,
and they're not toxic if they're bred in captivity. And several of the larger terrestrial ones are around the same price range, if not cheaper. The Aratus, the green Costa Rican Aratus, really cool frog. The yellow and black, striking in color. Lucamella. Now the Lucamella, Bob, that's where you go. Easy to keep, easy to breed, and they have a very loud call versus many of them have kind of a vibrating trill. It's hard to hear, like a whisper.
yeah.
Lucamella has a loud trill. It sounds like you're in a jungle. It's amazing.
It sounds
Yellow
like
and
I'm in it
black,
now.
poison dart frog.
Yellow and black.
Yep.
Huh. I'll start looking at dark frogs. I think Chattanooga Ed's going to end up with frogs because he's very interested.
I hope he gets dart frogs because they're diurnal and they're really cool, easy to keep. I raised them in a 10-gallon terrarium, and I mean about 6 different species. I raised in trios in 10-gallon aquariums. Very very easy to keep, easy to manage. You have to have live food. If you're not already, you'll have to start raising fruit flies.
Yeah, I could do that.
Not very difficult, just a little bit of a mess every week, you know.
Right.
Terry wants to come up. So for his birthday, my present to him is having him up.
Who is it? Who's coming up?
Terry.
Terry.
Terry's Tropical Tanks.
That
Yeah,
might be the
Party.
It's his birthday. He's 55.
Oh my God, young man,
Might
happy
be the-
birthday.
might be the other way around. He was pretty awesome this evening on the stream.
Oh,
I think I was the youngest on the stream there for a minute.
Yeah.
32.
you
Yeah.
guys want to hear a short story about when the speed limit was 55?
Yeah.
I do.
I know it was
I
about
wasn't born.
1974.
No, I just came up to make a joke.
But
Now,
I had,
which one of us is compensating for something?
If this is a big stringed instrument versus a small stringed instrument, joke's pretty funny.
If
All right.
it's
Who's
number of
compensating?
tanks, I don't know. It could be size or number of tanks. I don't know.
Oh God, I couldn't help it, man. The only reason I did it was because it was sitting right over there. I had to.
You're right. I'm surrounded by my ukuleles too, Terry.
You know, Rack don't care, man.
I don't care. Hey, how'd you like that Bristol dirt race, Terry?
Oh, dude, man, that last lap, he sent it in there, didn't he?
He did. That rascal.
He sent it in there. You know, he had his eyes closed too, man.
He set it up and just punched it right against the wall. Here we go. Let's see what happens.
The only thing I didn't like was that I'm not a big fan of third place who won the race, and he was a ways back too, man.
Yeah, me either. He doesn't have that the air of a champion that I like to see, but he wins races.
The problem is the second place car, that was Driscoll, right? He actually made it worse by not trying to hit him. If he would have just sailed it in there and just door slammed him, he would have won the race. But he was like, yeah, I'm going to try to stay off of him, and you can't do that. You sail it in like that in dirt, you ain't going to stay off of him.
Yeah, it's exciting. So I'm originally from Bristol, and I still live near there. So I'm a NASCAR fan, you know, by birth, not because I had a choice. And Bristol has put dirt on their track, which is really unique for NASCAR. And it was quite an exciting race this past weekend. A night race also, so very unique.
Wow.
And
On Easter.
I know Terry is a NASCAR fan too, so we have that in common.
I think this is the first time they've ever ran on Easter, isn't it?
Not the first time, but the first time in over 20 years. I think it was back in the early 80s they ran on Easter.
Oh,
and it was because of a reschedule.
Oh, okay. But yeah,
man,
I
hurt attendance in Bristol. It did. It hurt attendance.
It's a shame that NASCAR kind of hurt their brand for a while, but man, back when I was a fan, trying to get tickets to Bristol
Couldn't do
was
it.
impossible.
They were
I
selling
mean,
tickets in Germany and Australia like it was candy.
that
Sold out.
that whole city quadruples in size for every time they had a race.
So it's the largest coliseum, right? 160 plus thousand,
Wow.
and the population in Bristol is about 50,000. And then they come in, fill up all the hotels for 5, 6 cities around, all the campgrounds. It's amazing.
And people's front yards.
And especially, yeah, the Airbnb. I know personal friends who paid for complete basement remodels based on renting the downstairs to race fans.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep. And good people. I'm not kidding you. They come from all over the world. They're great people. When they come to Bristol for a race, what they want an outdoor space where they can have a campfire, and they're quiet. They're not rowdy when they rent these places, but they want a campfire, and they want TV and radio to follow all of the race coverage for the whole week.
Right, because they got the other races going on too.
Yep, that's it. And they pay good money, and they're good people, and Bristol region is very fortunate to have them. I thought, wow, now if somebody could arrange a fish aquarium conference at the same weekend,
Mm-hmm.
built in 200,000 crowd. Wow. Bobby Bacola, the Godfather, he might be able to do it.
Right.
But yeah, that was crazy. I did see. I didn't grow up in dirt, but I've been around dirt tracks for quite a while, and yeah, I got no problem with a guy in the last corner, last lap,
Mhm.
sailing it in there, closing his eyes and going, you know.
Well,
I'm either
Boyer
gonna
said
win
it's hard to root for a guy who wouldn't do that. And Daryl Waltrip was back, who's a celebrated hero at that track, in the booth. He was calling the race from the Fox booth. And Terry, you told some terrific stories on Daryl Waltrip about his creative ingenuity. What would Terry? You said they filled his car with sand, and he had a little lever he would open to
No,
let
lead shot. They
lead.
filled
Okay.
it full of lead shot, and then he had a
Oh,
crank
he
in the
made
car
weight
that
during
would
the
open up a
pre-inspection
hole.
and then released it, so he was lighter than all the other cars.
And then he was walking around with the guy that owned the racetrack, and he goes, I don't know where all these little freaking little BBs are keep coming from.
What year was that?
Oh God, that was late 70s going into the 80s.
Which track was it?
I don't remember.
What did they-
He also ran across the finish line, and as soon as he crossed the finish line, his engine blew one race. And that was
my favorite one was the hole that would release the BBs.
Yeah.
They put it right where the jack goes. So when they jack the car up, they're looking all over for the hole. It's under the jack.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. That's great. That's fantastic. Well, Daryl is the one. He blew an engine as soon as he crossed the finish line and won the race, and that's because
I thought that was Mikey Waltrip. I thought
Daryl.
Didn't Mikey?
Daryl. And they talked about it this Bristol race, and Daryl said, "I just drive them. I just drive them." But actually, the everyone knows, the unstated humor there is he did not want that post inspection done on that engine, so he blew it as soon as he crossed the line.
Thank you, Benny.
Dale Sr. was one of the first at Daytona for a little creative engineering. They had shocks in that car where they would, as they're pushing it into inspection, the guys that are pushing in the back are picking up on the car. The shocks had just enough to hold it there. and then they'd roll it back out so it would pass inspection. But as soon as the green flag dropped and they hit a couple bumps, that the whole ass end of the cart kept sinking, and them shocks didn't have enough pressure to push the back end of the car up. So they're going down the racetrack like this with that rear spoiler. There ain't no air on that rear spoiler nowhere.
All these NASCAR stories remind me of some Pam stories.
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't eating, you're not eating.
That's true. So today is your birthday, Terry?
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I try not to make a big deal out of them things.
Yeah, they
Especially when
get
you got-
less impressive.
Yeah. The more you get, the less you want to see them, you know?
That's the truth.
They start happening too quick.
I know.
I know I used to, until like this year it didn't work, and next year when my next birthday comes, it doesn't work. But I used to like pretend I was dyslexic. So like instead of 64, I was 46. And, you know, but this now I'm 66, so that doesn't work. And in a couple months, I'm going to be 67, and that's definitely not going to work for me.
Don't try that. No.
No one's gonna believe it.
Yeah, you reach a point where you're like, damn it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bunny Vodka.
What'd Bunny do?
Oh, now we got to put him down, huh?
She said she liked my
Honest to
notes.
God, I just came up to make that joke.
You won. You
thought it
won,
was
Terry.
funny.
You outgunned me. Bunny Viper said that she loved your mud skipper videos, Bob. Yeah, okay. That's an interesting fish.
Those mud skippers are cool, man.
I've only had them one time, and unfortunately, I don't know still why, but they crashed. Everything's fine. Boom. They're all dead.
Which ones were they?
Indian?
You missed the giveaway,
I've got the
Noah.
African.
Hi,
Okay.
Colette. You missed the giveaway.
Damn it, no.
You like rubbing that in, don't you? She keeps coming in every time. The first thing she said when I came in was, "Oh, Terry, you just missed the giveaway."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Hey, Colette.
Oh, do you guys geocache? Are you familiar with geocaching?
Oh man, I used to.
I am. I haven't done. I don't have like the app or anything, but I've gone out with one of my daughters who's really into it.
So much fun.
And when she comes to visit, we always do some geocaching, and it is fun. It's especially fun like when I was in Montana, and they would be out like in the middle of nowhere, and you had to try to find them.
Oh yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
I made Bird Garden Channel travel bugs for the geocaching game.
Nice.
To take to Hawaii. So they started in Tennessee. I took them to Hawaii and released them into the game. Some guy picked one up like a day after I dropped it in a geocache. Took it back the following day to California. 2 days later, he's back in Latvia. So the little Bird Garden travel bug in the geocaching game has traveled over 14,500 miles in a week.
That's awesome.
Do your bugs have a destination in mind, or are you just watching where they go?
Well, they can go, and of course I make birding references, right? They can fly wherever they want, but eventually I want them to migrate back to East Tennessee.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got involved in a couple of the travel bugs, and I've got some coins that I've collected.
They're neat.
You want to know the coolest one I ever come across? And it all it was just a sign your name. But it was one that was really close to my house. And it was right near a lake. And I get close to where it is, and I'm actually familiar with the area because I fished it. And I went, okay, the trail's right here. So I go down the trail, and I come across this PVC tube that's been embedded into the ground, right? And you're looking for the actual geocache so you can sign your name and say you did it, right?
Correct.
And then I look, and at the base of the PVC tube are containers that can hold water. And I forget the name of it, but it was something about float. So, you kind of got to put two and two together and go, okay, you got to fill the tube with water.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
what they don't tell you is there's holes in the bottom of the PVC. So you got to run to the lake, fill these stupid containers up full of water, fill them, into the tube, and God, it took me like 5 tries to get enough water with me to get it all in the tube. And honest to God, up pops a waterproof container, like the 35 millimeter
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
something like that. You open it up, and there's a little rolled up piece of paper. I got to sign my name and close everything back up and send it back down. Put
Yeah.
all the containers, back and walk away. That one was fun, man. It
To
really,
me, that sounds like a lot of fun, and it's free. It's a free app if anyone's interested. Geocaching.com.
Yeah,
You can get the free
it
app.
is a lot of fun.
I
And
haven't done
otherwise,
it
you're
in
just
years.
out there wandering around, and then, hey, wait, let me turn on the geocaching app, and there's some around here.
It sounds a little bit, but not as sinister. What is the one that sends you to like crime scenes and scary stuff? And
I've heard of that app, but I don't remember what it's called. But it's
it's
like,
not been out too long.
yeah,
Somebody in
and
here
some
wanna.
people have gotten into trouble following those.
Yeah,
Geocaching's been out for, God,
Geocaching's been out for
at
years
least
because I
20
remember
years.
going
Yeah.
out with
At
my
least.
kids, like
Well, it was during the Clinton
Probably.
administration in the 70s when they released GPS as civilian information. That was the
Yeah.
genesis of geocaching.
I know when I was doing it with my daughter, it was a good
I remember
12 or 13 years ago.
I
Yeah.
remember when I got my first handheld Lowrance GPS. Because I'm an outdoorsman. I don't big game hunt, but I spend a lot of time. Believe it or not, I do a little bit of not necessarily bird watching, but just hanging out in the woods and animal watch in general.
Everybody's a bird watcher, Terry.
Sure. And man, being able to trace your trails, God, I wish I
cool.
would have had that thing when I was in Alaska. I would have been a little more adventurous, but
I had one of those too, Terry, and I used
Hi,
it to
Jimmy
mark
P.
fishing spots.
Yeah. Really good for
the
that.
beauty of the Lowrance one is it would communicate with your Lowrance electronics on your boat. So in the summertime, you're out on your boat and you can mark a good rock pile or a good
Mhm.
brush pile
Oh,
or
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I
Very
could
helpful
plug-
here in the Tennessee Valley Authority area where they drop the lakes in the wintertime, and you can go find that structure and mark it. And then when the water comes back up, you know where the structure is.
See, I would do the exact opposite. I'd mark it in the summer, and then when the lakes froze over, I'd take the handheld out and I'd go ice fishing. So I'm
Here's
out there
my
walking on the lake.
geocaching profile.
Yeah,
River Life TN.
Didn't they call like people that don't geocache? I mean, when you hide a geocache, you don't want the muggles to get it.
Correct. Muggles.
Muggles
Non-playing members.
are
Yeah,
like
the public
random people that
muggles.
might like run across it and just take it,
Yeah, they
that
call them
don't
muggles.
geocache. Is that right? Is
Yep.
that muggle? Am
Yep.
I right?
That is true.
Okay.
And Freaky Fish Lady, yes, my birthday is 4/20. Yes, Team Detritus, my birthday is 4/20.
Didn't
Jimmy
even catch
P.
that until they put that in chat.
It wasn't cool until a few years ago. But it's cool now.
That's the coolest.
Terry, do you have to be a member to be a detritus?
No, we're all freaking. Team Detritus was just something that I like because I'm
we're all full of detritus, so
I'm kind of an all encompass blah, however you say that word, encompassing kind of guy. And I got no problem hanging out with the lowest of the low. You know,
Right.
Well, yeah.
sometimes we laugh about some pretty lowbrow stuff. I am definitely not a highfalutin kind of guy. So
Happy birthday, Terry. Where's my guppy grass?
Jimmy P is going to give that to, I gotta send him. Just let it get just a tiny bit warmer, and I'll send it to you. Actually, I just fed a whole bunch of it to my fish. All right, I got one tank full of guppy grass for you.
And I put a link in chat. I don't know if it'll go through or not. You can eliminate it if you don't want it there.
let me see. I got
That's not a mod? How come that's not a mod? Starting a petition.
I think I was, and I misbehaved and got demodded.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
There you go. She did.
No way.
She blocked Skipper one night.
Right?
She's rough.
I talked to Skipper about that.
way.
You know, he needed some therapy because of that.
Mm-hmm.
He came up as a panelist, and Pam put a timeout.
Yeah. I think
Okay,
that she just had a headache or something.
Did somebody get it? Did you put it in there, Rack? Because I don't.
Yeah, I put it in chat. I don't see it on the StreamYard chat yet, but I put it in the. It may have just blocked it automatically from the. It was
because I don't.
It was
I don't even see it
geocaching.com is all it was. Somebody asked the question.
Oh, why don't you put it in the private chat on StreamYard, and then I'll transfer it over there.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
You're so smart, man.
It is.
I guess.
It is just what Bunny Viper put. Yeah, geocache. Just put that in, and I'm sure it'll come up. And
I guess this means.
You see that in private chat, Pam?
Yep, I got it.
Okay.
Rack, I guess this means no ranch, buddy.
Yeah, I've been de-wrenched. You know, it happens at my age.
Terry.
You'll find out, Terry. You're quickly.
No, I think I actually already have.
Stand corrected.
I did another one that was, honest to God, a block away from my house at the time. I was like, there's a geocache there? It took me 3 hours to freaking find it because it was a two-parter.
Yeah.
And all it was a magnet that was attached to a guardrail.
Yep.
In the parking lot of the park. I kept going around it. I even sat on the guardrail going,
Hi, Anthony.
It says it's right here.
You, Anthony.
And it was.
Oh, I remember going.
I'm literally sitting on it.
We had to go for a walk down the trail and stuff, probably about 3/4 of a mile. And it was by a bush, but next to a stream. It was kind of underneath the bush in a box.
Yeah, they're not all puzzle caches like Terry talked about. Those are really fun. Some are real magnetic box on a guardrail or a box under a tree. Sometimes there's a big ammo box, and there's lots of cool stuff in there. You can drop stuff in there, take stuff.
What I like about it is, say you go on, you go out of town for the weekend. Let's say you go to the Keystone Clash.
Yeah.
But your significant other isn't into fish. Well, they can go out and geocache. Everywhere you're at, anywhere around, you go, you make a 3-hour trip. Say you got to go to, for me, I got to go to Indianapolis to fill out paperwork for something or whatever.
Yep.
And then you got a couple hours to kill. You're a couple hours away from home, whatever. Yeah, You can pop up and see what's in your area and go
My
look.
wife and I definitely geocached at Aquashella in Dallas. And so every time you find a geocache in a new state, you get the state souvenir on your
Right.
profile. So we got the Texas souvenir while we were at Aquashella. And actually, we had identified geocaches in Secaucus, New Jersey. What's the other big fish show that the fish fam goes to?
Oh yeah.
Aquaticon? No, that's coming up in Knoxville. That's going to be a great show.
Mhm.
Aquatic Experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in Secaucus, we had found we didn't ever make it over to the Walmart beside the Chili's to get the geocache, but we had identified it. And so, like birds, I say there's a lot, they have a lot in common. And I'll say now, like birds and fish stores, they're everywhere. You
Yeah.
just have to look wherever you end up. Look for a fish store, look for birds, look for geocaches. Boom, great trip.
And I dare you to find a good fish store in Wyoming.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to
Wyoming
take your word for it.
Wyoming is different. Dan is in Wyoming, so if you go way up north, you can go see Dan, which is like.
Well, like everything else, it has to do with density.
But as
If
far
you're
as
not
most
densely
of the
populated,
towns
you
here,
don't get a selection.
yeah, Wyoming has the total population of Wyoming is 580,000.
Yeah,
That's for the
Wyoming
whole-
is for loners.
That's for the whole state, which ends up being something like one person per six square miles.
Every person.
And
has
there
their own
is
farm. That's
literally more cows in Wyoming than there is people. Seriously,
amazing.
there is.
That's amazing. It's like we went on our westward push and we just dropped a few off on the way to the coast. And I was at LAX on the way to Hawaii, and that place is crowded.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
That's a densely populated area in Southern California.
Yeah.
But we did see this land you're talking about, Wyoming, from the airplane. It looks sparse, just
It's
wide open.
It is pretty sparse. Yep, it's wide open space. But I kind of like that when I lived like on Cape Cod. I lived on Cape Cod for about 5 years, and there is no country on the East Coast. It's like anywhere you drive, if you look, you're gonna see houses. There's no just wide open nothingness. And I like wide open nothingness.
To each his own. I like a very good happy medium. I don't want to be too far from the convenience store.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But I don't want my neighbors
when it
in my
really
business either.
is like right now, my truck is broke down, and there's no public transportation or anything.
I heard you say that. That's kind of
Yeah,
sad.
so my choices are to get groceries. I can order online from one store in town only. It's the only one that has where you can order online and have it delivered. But to go to the post office or anything like that, which I need to do, I'm going to have to call the one and only taxi service in town. And it's going to cost me about $20 to go.
I think we ought to auction another drawing. You got another drawing handy?
No, we're done with that for today. I'll probably do another one Saturday, but
Crap.
But yeah,
My mic
so
was muted.
that's why it's like in Wyoming, you really, I mean, if you were in a city, I could just grab public transportation, but there is no such thing here. And even though, well, Laramie has a population of about 30,000 and it's a college town, so you would think there would be better transportation, but there's not.
Yeah.
They all have cars.
I had the same culture shock when I went to Alaska, and I'd go out and get off the beaten path a little bit and get up on a mountain, and besides where I'm staying behind me, looking out,
there's nothing. Yeah.
There was not a man-made structure that my eye could see.
Yeah.
Forever.
What? And was part of Alaska?
I grew up in the city, man. I was like, how is this possible?
Where in Alaska were you?
I was in Fort Greely.
I went to Fort Wainwright to see my son in Fairbanks.
I was a little bit, what was that, south or north of Wainwright? I was close to Wainwright.
Yep.
Well,
Wyoming is the only state that has actually less people per square mile than Wyoming does. Of the
Alaska
lower
is.
48, Wyoming is definitely, the least
Wainwright's
populated,
outside
but
Fairbanks,
per
right?
square mile, Alaska is the only state that has less people per square mile than Wyoming does.
Pam, are you familiar with the term map bias?
No, I'm not.
Map bias we see often in reference to Alaska. You see the United States, and they have Hawaii and Alaska split off.
Yeah.
And Alaska, as many maps that I've seen, looks like it's about the size of Texas.
Oh no, it's bigger.
It's
It's two
bigger than
thirds.
half the United States.
It's
Yeah.
2/3 of the continental United
Yeah.
States.
That's map bias. So yeah, I can see how it's going to take a lot of people in Alaska to get that population density up to so that Wyoming can compete.
There isn't a lot in
There's
town here
more
in
moose in
DRB,
Alaska than
in
people.
Laramie, but Wyoming has several um, Indian reservations.
Hmm.
But in Laramie, there's none really close to Laramie. There's some in South Dakota and northern Wyoming. There's a couple different ones. There's the Crow Indian Reservation,
Oh, cool.
and there's the I don't remember the name of the Indian reservation, but they have the last remaining people. I think it's the Lakotas or something.
Oh,
But
wow.
they have the last remaining people that are descendants from the sheep eaters, which were in Yellowstone Park.
Oh, cool.
And they got called that because they would, their main game animal was the bighorn sheep. And they used to dry out the horns and make bows and arrows that were extremely sought after
Oh,
for their
wow.
quality. They would make them out of the horns of the bighorn sheep.
All right, maybe not 2/3.
But yeah, Wyoming has a lot of Native Americans, but Laramie is kind of far away from the bigger reservations.
I'm so sorry at geography. I just had to look up on Google Maps, Wyoming. So I've been to the Four Corners, which includes Colorado and Utah, and Wyoming is north, but it's also south of Montana, which borders
Yeah.
Canada.
Yep. Like Dan lives in Sheridan, which is northern Wyoming, which for me is a 9-hour drive because I am in southeastern Wyoming, really close to the Colorado border.
So you and Dan don't visit much.
No, I've met him before and I've been up there, but it's like a 8-9 hour drive for me to go up there.
That's a lot of driving in one state. Well, in Tennessee, I live in East Tennessee. Memphis is in West Tennessee, and I can be out of the country
This
in
is what
Canada
Rack was,
faster than I can be in Memphis.
this was
driving.
what Rack is talking about.
Yeah, there you go.
That's Alaska over the continental United States.
Yeah, so it's not. It's typically a different scale than the rest of the United States, and we don't care about the scale, right? We don't do the math. So we accept Texas as about the size of Alaska.
Yeah, and see, Wyoming is right there with Montana on the top, and then Idaho beside it, and then Wyoming's
Yes.
a little square. Wyoming is the same shape as Colorado, so Wyoming is kind of like if you did a copy and pasted of Colorado, but forgot to add the people.
Do you still get fresh potatoes in Wyoming since you're so close to Idaho?
No, Idaho's actually is a long drive for me.
Yeah. I wonder if they drop some off as they import them across the United States. If Wyoming gets first drop off.
No, we don't, because I used to live in potato country in eastern Washington, and I used to. This is going to sound ridiculous to you, but every year we would just wait until one of the drivers took a corner too fast and tipped over a potato truck. And when that happened, they just wanted the potatoes gone so they could upright the truck and keep going. So I'd get like a winter supply of potatoes. I'd fill up gunny sacks full of potatoes every fall. And what gets sold in the grocery stores in most states that I've been in is potatoes that would be discarded in like where you grow potatoes. I mean, you know, you
Okay.
get some nice potatoes there, and the little ones that they sell in the grocery stores in those bags are ones I wouldn't even bother picking up.
Now, I don't know if this is true, but I tend to watch a lot of documentaries. And
Potatoes, Anthony, potatoes will keep for a long time. Just all you got to do is have a fairly cool room in the wintertime. You don't want it below freezing. You don't want it like refrigerator, but like a room that stays in the 60s, and your potatoes will last all winter long.
But I heard some of the biggest potato farmers in the United States are all contracted to McDonald's.
I can believe that.
Not really, because there was
No?
one year, and I can't remember the name of the potato. It started with an S, but there was one year that a truck tipped over, and those were the best potatoes, and they were on their way to like fast food, but they're skinless. They're skinless potatoes, and all I would have to do is stick them in the sink and take a rag and rub, and the skin would be totally gone. They're peeled.
Wow.
And those were the ones that were heading to McDonald's.
Genetic
And that was
engineering
not-
at its best.
That was not the majority of the potatoes in Eastern Washington anyway. That was just like only a couple farms raise those kind.
See, there's the Pam story, and it sounds like a hybrid geocaching NASCAR story.
Yep.
The driver slams it in the corner, rolls the truck, potatoes spill. Pam goes out and picks up the geocache.
There you go.
Yeah, that's how I used to get my potatoes every year. And one year I remember we were really broke, and we were heading to town, and there was an onion truck ahead of us. And the onion trucks, they just fill up a dump truck with bags of onions, you know, like 100-pound bags of onions. And he took a corner too fast, and one 100-pound bag of onions fell off his truck. And you're
Dude, I
damn
would have had
right,
onion
I
rings
stopped
for the
and
rest
grabbed
of
those
my
onions.
life.
And we had onion rings and onion soup, and
Pam
mean,
was stacking onions
had-
like firewood.
we had onions all winter long. Because 100 pounds of onions is a lot of onions.
Tell you what, she was so happy carrying that bag, she was crying.
Hey,
It's the
I'm
onions.
I'm
It's
not
the
proud,
onions.
you know. Like getting the potatoes was a bit of work, but you know, just filling up gunny sacks of potatoes, I'll do that for free potatoes all winter. You know, what the hell?
Good deal. Good deal.
And then when we rented a place from a farmer, and he used to when he grew potatoes, he would just take like his tractor with a bucket on the front, and he would fill up the bucket with potatoes and dump it in the shop that was on the lot that we lived on, their machine shop, and he would dump it in one corner and say, "There's your potatoes for the winter."
That was so
Nice.
nice.
Yeah,
Do you guys grow your own tomatoes?
I used to when I had a big garden, but I haven't for years.
I'm going to this year. I've got a small bed, like a 4 foot by 8 foot raised bed. You know, because I'm old, the hips.
A lot
you can't bend
with
all the way
tomatoes.
over. You gotta have a
Tomatoes
raised
do
bed.
a lot of fertilizer with tomatoes.
Yeah, you got to amend that soil for sure.
And-
but I'm okay
And they
fertilizing
like
because
sun,
it's
but
in a contained
the best
bed.
crop I ever got like partial shade. Like
Yeah.
in the hottest part of the day, it just got a little bit of shade, and I had I was filling up like wicker laundry baskets full of tomatoes, like probably 4 or 5 big laundry baskets full of tomatoes that year.
So you need partial shade?
You don't have to have it, but in my experience, they do better if you've
Okay.
got a little shady spot in the garden.
Okay.
Not full shade, but just shaded from the hottest part of the sun.
Yeah,
I-
like
I
evening
don't-
sun.
Number one, it depends on the variety you're growing.
Yeah, these were big boys. I still remember that they were big boy
I'm
tomatoes.
making a
and
note, big boy.
I had so many tomatoes that I made I filled up my freezer with homemade salsa because I had so many
that
tomatoes
sounds
I couldn't even
delicious.
do anything
It
with
does
them.
sound good.
That's what I wanted to get at. Is I back in my gardening days, I did 2 years of tomatoes and quit because all my friends that also garden grew tomatoes, and they all come to harvest at the exact same time.
Yep.
And it's like,
Yeah,
all
that
right,
depends on the
now
variety
we've
too. You
all
can't get
got
varieties that won't
tomatoes.
like produce a little bit all year long. But being as how I always did canning and stuff, because I'd make like tomato sauce and tomato
Right,
salsa and even just canned tomatoes that I could use during the year to cook with.
right. You got to
I,
learn
I wanted
canning.
I wanted them all at once, so I always got varieties that would produce all at once because that's how I wanted them.
You
But they
got to
weren't
learn
like
how to can it.
all at once. It would stretch over like a month, you know.
Yeah.
But
So I
Well,
basically,
switched.
you got a
I
bumper crop
actually
of them.
switched to only having one tomato plant in my garden, and I went to green peppers, and I really got into green peppers because they're you can freeze them and you can have them. You know, after your first harvest, then you've got green peppers all year long.
that's good.
And
That's good crop. I'm taking notes out of your chat, Pam. Freaky Fish Lady said sun sugar tomatoes. Nola's doll said beef steaks are good.
Yeah, they are.
beefsteaks a good tomato, but
Yeah, I've grown beefsteaks before, and they
sometimes
are a
they
good one.
grow
I
goofy.
like because of what I did with them. I like to raise the big ones because I canned them and made salsa and all kinds of stuff. But for just eating, I really like grape tomatoes. Are really good, and they produce a little bit all year long. So if you have like one bush, you can always pull off enough
I
for a
always
salad
have grape
all summer.
tomatoes in my big pots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you doing it this year, Bob?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What else do you have? What other tomatoes?
I hadn't put any out yet, but I'm going to move them from around by the garage where they get the morning sun, where they get the afternoon out on the deck here.
So you're
But
doing container.
having a bush of grape
So,
tomatoes is really good if you like salads because you've always got a few that you can
Yeah.
just like
yeah.
pluck off and put it on a
Well,
salad.
my wife likes homegrown tomatoes, and recently the farmers markets just haven't been coming through for her. Or they, we're not the customers that get there when the good stock is available, one or the other.
Yeah,
So we
when you plant them, go down a ways and mix in a lot of fertilizer and then
yeah.
regular dirt on top with the tomato plant, and they'll get their root as they grow. They'll get down in the
Well, I
fertilizer
agree with that, and I'm
and
okay with doing
mulch
that
them,
in a raised bed container. It's
because
not going to get loose in the environment. I've got it in
yeah,
a contained environment.
She could.
you want to mulch them too because it'll keep the moisture in, and they do not like it if they get dry.
Okay.
Pam,
All right.
Pam's talking about like a very mild, slow release, like a 10-10-10. She's not talking, a super high nitrogen.
No, no.
If you're gonna put a fertilizer down for like tomatoes or something in the root area of a plant, you want a slow release, mild fertilizer like a 10
Yeah,
10.
you know what I used to always use? Of
What's
course,
that?
rabbit poo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always had rabbits, and I would just like scoop up a shovel of rabbit poo and mix it into the dirt, like down a little ways, and then put the tomato in and the cage and stuff, and then do really
Well,
good.
here's what I thought. You guys coach me here. I thought about taking one of my bird feeders over into the tomato raised bed for bird poop fertilizer.
Yeah.
Is that good or bad or indifferent?
Um, bird like you couldn't use like if I had a farm like I always used to have and was going to do tomatoes, I wouldn't. I don't know about regular birds, but I know chicken manure is too hot.
Yeah,
Okay.
Like you
it's a
could not
super high
like the way
nitrogen.
that I did like the rabbit poo I would use around my rose bushes and
Yeah.
I'd use it underneath the tomatoes, but I would not have done the same thing with chicken because chicken is too
Yeah.
hot. And
GRB Aquatics is talking about it's a pain in the butt and it's expensive, but they taste so much better. I want that for my wife. I'm not a tomato eater even, but my wife loves them. And also GRB mentions potash, and I've seen that on so many tomato forums. I'm
yeah,
in the soil with
and you
potash.
can also even just getting some um compost like in a bag of compost We'd go,
Mhm.
we'd do a couple plants, you know.
That's
mix it in
that's
with the
your
soil.
last number when you're talking fertilizers. Your
Mhm.
potash is your last number. So at
Yeah.
10, 10, 10, it's 10 nitrogen,
Yeah.
10 crap. Help me out, Bob.
Ammonia? Is
Oh,
it
yeah.
ammonia?
That's
It's nitrogen, phosphorus, and
Okay.
potash.
All right.
that's the other thing that Freaky Fish Lady brings up that you also need to do when you buy your tomato plants. Get a good healthy tomato plant and then pick off the lower branches to where you've got
Yes.
like a good 4 to 6 inches of bare stem and
Yeah.
bury it that deep.
Well, yeah,
Bury it that deep.
that weight, that's the whole reason we do the cages as well.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
there's
no,
a lot of
they'll
weight.
put out a whole bunch more
They'll put out
roots.
more roots and stuff. Yeah.
Oh.
You want to
Well,
bury
I knew this
pick-
was the
pick
group
off-
to ask.
Pick off the lower branches and then bury it, down
Yeah.
to the first
So
set.
Well, thank you, panel. Thank you, GRB Aquatics, and thank you, Freaky Fish Lady. But also, if I fail, I'm blaming all you guys.
Oh no.
I'm not going to. I'll take the heat. I am going to use some sort of an
GRB, you are
automated watering
correct.
system also, so
Potassium,
they never dry.
potassium is
Okay.
really abundant in bird poop, but so is nitrogen. Like really high numbers of nitrogen. I don't know what birds do with bird seed,
Yeah, I don't know what the
but they
numbers
turn
are
it into nitrogen.
for chicken, but you can't. If you need to use old chicken poop if you're going to use chicken poop because it will burn the hell out of stuff. But rabbit poo
Well, I
is
won't do
really
it then.
good.
There you go.
The rabbit pellets, roses love them and tomatoes love them. Rabbit poo is really good for roses and for tomatoes.
Yeah, but because it's kind of like a cow patty. A rabbit pellet and a cow patty are basically the same thing. They're just from different sized animals, and they're so processed as they eat their food that there's not a whole lot of nitrogen left. Where birds,
Chicken
I
poo
see.
is
Well, that
really
makes sense,
hot.
Terry.
So I would hesitate to use even bird poo up from underneath your feeders because I would think unless it was at least a couple years old, it's going to be too hot.
Yeah.
and by hot,
well, that's good advice. I know that when your yard trimmings, your lawn trimmings are full of nitrogen. But what Terry was saying is the cow and the rabbit, they absorb or use or burn as energy the nitrogen, so their waste is low nitrogen. That makes sense.
correct.
Yeah, and if you use chicken poop, be careful about using a mask and stuff because you can get that histoplasmosis from breathing
Yeah,
that stuff.
histoplasmosis is no good. Fortunately, because of the new normal, I have plenty of masks.
In several of the
my arm is
steel
still
mills,
bruised from my last booster too. That one got me.
in several of the steel mills I go into, I'll get into areas where we have high bay lighting and stuff that's only changed every 10 years. And because of the heat generated from the lights, the pigeons and things like to build their nests in there. And that's always a problem. You wouldn't think an electrician would have to deal with that kind of a disease, but we do. We get into pigeon nests constantly when you're up in the air changing out a light that hasn't been changed in 10 years. And there's a nest of a couple of pigeons that's been there for 7 years. Yeah.
So do you take precautions? Are you trained to take precautions? What's up?
I generally will put a mask on. I consider myself a fairly healthy individual with an immune system, but
Intelligent,
you're still taking a chance. I mean, you got to knock the stuff out so you can change the light out. You got no choice, and then the shit's airborne. I mean, you can wear a mask, but I mean, what are you gonna do? You got no choice. You still got to.
Well, you do the best you can, right, Terry? You make the best decision you can. and go forward. And that's where I learned how to pray. I'm not much of a religious person anymore, but I recognize there's so much outside of my control. I might want to learn to pray also.
Hey, I'll give you an example. I was standing on two 138,000 volt lead jacketed cables that I had to move out of the way so we could put a new one in that were still energized. I got two come-alongs wrapped around them, and I'm standing on them while I'm cranking the come-alongs up. And I'm like, you know what? This is about the dumbest thing I ever did. And I started going through my life, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Hey, Jesus, you and I never really talked, but trust me, I'm an okay guy.
That's fantastic. In the event that I end up as fried Terry,
Yeah.
Right.
If this all blows up, I'm an okay guy.
oh yeah, Jesus said, "You're right, Terry. Right on. You're all right."
It's
Now,
funny you
where
don't
did
think
Bobby the
about all
Color the
that shit
Godfather
until
go? I
you
lost him.
realize that it's like, yeah, I'm standing on a peg of, a keg of dynamite right now.
Pam, you have absolutely no problem controlling a male majority panel with so few words. It amazes me every time I watch or appear.
Oh,
Anyways, I got to get out
it
of
comes
here.
it comes from
Rack,
raising kids.
Rack, one of these days, you and I are going to have to do a stream together.
No,
Yeah,
that would be
yeah,
awesome.
Terry, let's do it, man.
Yeah.
And Bob, always, I love you. And Pam,
Same,
I
Terry.
wish you the best of luck. And sorry I missed the auction, and I don't have enough money this week to bid on anything, anyways.
You're
But
fine.
always love seeing your work. And with that, I'm gonna get out of here, go to bed, so I can go to work in the morning. You guys all have a good one.
All right,
See you,
Terry,
Terry.
happy birthday. Give that big old guitar a hug.
Yeah, happy
Yeah,
birthday.
that was funny.
I
Who's
remember
compensating?
when I moved to Cape Cod, Rack, I stayed
Yeah,
with this friend of mine for about the first 6 months till I, was working and had a steady job and all that stuff and could get my own place. And I remember after like 3 or 4 months of living with him, he told me one day, he said, Pam, he says, I have never, not once have I heard you raise your voice, but you have the look. He says, all you have to do is look at me and I know you're pissed. I have the look, evidently.
well, I want to tell you something, Pam. This is sincere. I only know what I see and feel also, but you seem to carry a lot of influence because your approval is so appreciated. And
Really?
when you have that air about you, it only takes a look. Oh no. I don't want Pam's disapproval.
Actually, I'm very non-confrontational. Truthfully, I'm very non-confrontational, but yeah, most of the time, I mean, if you know me, you know when I'm not happy, but I never yelled at my kids or anything when they were growing up,
Yeah.
but they
It
knew when
seems
I
like
wasn't happy.
you're very respectful of everyone. You give respect not because it's earned, but just until someone says, "Hey, I'm not worthy of your respect," and I like that about you.
But at the same time, like I won't, like right now, there's some junk going on and I won't get involved with it, even though I'm being
Yeah,
trashed. I won't
Right.
turn around and trash anybody
yeah.
in
That's the
private
best
or
way.
in public.
That's
I
the
won't.
best way. And I'm no
I won't.
saint,
I won't
and I'm not
defend
good at
myself.
this.
Like someone kind of got a hold of me and kind of wanted me to defend myself, and I'm like, I figure that people that know me know better.
Right.
if my friends know better, and
Yeah.
if they don't know better, then they weren't really my friends to begin with. So I'm not going to worry about
Yeah,
it.
some people can bait you into a very fruitless retaliation.
Exactly, and I'm
Um,
not going to do that. To me, that's high
well,
school. To me,
my
that's high school
therapist told
shit.
me
You
one
know?
time, and I wish I could say that I fully embrace it. I want to, but I'm just imperfect. He said, Rack, the only part about you that can be offended is your ego. And
Yeah.
I try so hard to keep that in mind. Like, I don't want
That's
my
so
ego
true.
to have all of that control.
Yeah, that's true, and it's like one of the things that I like to say is, in order for me to get offended, I would have to give a shit what you thought about me.
You got to give away
You
control.
know?
That's
I
right.
don't
You got
care.
to put the button out there and let somebody push it if you're going to have your button pushed. That's
Yep.
the truth. Daniel Velez is
Good
turning in
night,
early. He's
Daniel.
taking his winnings to the house and going to bed.
See you, Daniel.
But yeah, generally, like I say, I'm non-confrontational, and to me, all any like people start fighting and stuff, and to me, it's like
Yeah.
high school drama. I don't do high school drama at all.
Yeah.
Stay away
Period.
from it.
Especially in my old age, I don't have the energy. What energy I have, I want to focus more positively than wasting it on yelling.
Exactly. And
Right.
I never
Nobody
have
got
been a
time for
yeller or
that.
anything. My
Perfect.
ex-husband had a bad temper, and every time he got mad, and it could be about the stupidest thing in the world, he always broke something.
Ooh.
Now seriously, what good does that do you?
Ah.
What honestly, like one time the van wouldn't start, and I heard him out. It needed a starter when we bought it, or no, it needed a flywheel. It had a piece missing out of the flywheel. So when we bought it, the previous owner told us that, and I had to borrow money to go buy a flywheel. I still remember it was like $75, and that damn flywheel sat in the carport for over a year before it got put in the van.
Oh, wow.
And meanwhile, we burned up about 4 starters, and I'm not even kidding. So this one morning, he was getting ready to go to work, and he was out in the driveway. We had like a split level house, and I heard him cussing, and I heard the van trying to start, and I heard him cussing, and I looked out the window, like looking down on the van, and he hit the windshield with his fist and
What?
totally spider webbed the whole windshield of the van. So then we had a burn up starter and a broken windshield on the van. And he
Yeah.
comes in the house and he says, I can't get the van started. What the fuck am I going to do? And usually I just kept my mouth shut, but I was pissed. And I looked at him and I said, I'm sure you'll think of something stupid and childish to do. At which case he stomped out the door, hit the side of the refrigerator, and pushed in the side of the refrigerator where the top of the refrigerator bowed up and everything fell off the top of the refrigerator. And the door refrigerator wouldn't shut anymore. And he went out in the carport and broke a set of storage shelves that I had out there. So just because the van wouldn't start, we had a burn-up starter, a broken windshield, a broken refrigerator, and a broken set of storage shelves. So I
Sounds
don't
like
do
a
that.
toxic
To me, that's
person.
just like, I see absolutely no reason to make something worse by getting mad about it.
What'd you say,
Right.
Bob?
Sounds like a toxic
Oh, yeah. Toxic. Yeah.
person.
Toxic personality. Yeah.
Yep, he
Like
definitely has
expensive
that.
frustration. I mean, people deal with their shit different ways. Everybody has shit, in my opinion. And I was glad to get through that frustration. I don't know if it was age or what, but
You know how I've dealt with it my whole life? And this is going to sound stupid, but it's honestly the way that I deal with stuff. The worse the situation is, the more I'm going to laugh about it. And not just a nervous laugh, but a genuine, oh my God, this is funny laugh.
if you can do that, you're winning, Pam.
That's how I've dealt with it my whole life. It's like
Pam is winning.
there's something wrong with me, but that's just how I handle things.
Yeah.
Like I
Well,
remember
I've always
one
heard
time we
better
were
to
really
laugh than
broke.
cry.
one
And
time,
now I believe better to laugh than be angry.
one time we were really broke, and I turned on the stove, and there was like this loud pop, and all the wires came up out of the stove, and the burners were sitting up on top of wires. And I sat there and I laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. But yeah, that's just what I've always. That's just me. It's weird and it's probably not normal, but that's just how I've always handled stuff.
Well,
But
You do
but
you, and that's why people love you,
lose your
Pam.
temper and break stuff is just like all you're doing is making the situation worse. You know.
right.
Yeah.
You can get normal almost any channel, but not here. So
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes normal is fake. I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm just saying, you know it is. The Facebook normal, right? Facebook normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now Pam, I've been a fan of yours for years now, and surely you you host this show, and you
yeah, I
feel a
think
great deal of love every time you do. Is that true?
I do. Yeah.
I do. I feel it for you. I'm a lover. Hey, let's get in there and say hello to Pam. Let's encourage Pam. And again, it's not
I
because
I
we're
I
pandering. It's only because
I
we're
always
real.
joke about being antisocial, and I am to like a certain degree. But at the same time, I like everybody
Yeah,
until they prove me wrong,
yeah. You
and
respect
I
everybody.
will overlook faults and flaws and everything else until they really really do me wrong. I like everybody, you know.
And your chat is full of community. There's no animosity.
No, I
right.
wouldn't allow it.
Yeah. Bob, do you keep plants with your chameleons? That's a question
Do
in
I
the
keep
chat.
them? Oh, do I
Do
keep
you
them with them or for them?
do you keep live plants with your chameleons? Anthony Fishy Friends asked that.
Oh, yes, I do, Anthony. And also some plastic because they hold water better for them to drink the
I'm gonna
water
take
off
a
of.
break. I'll be right back. Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
But I remember my dad had a really bad temper like that too, and I laughed so many times, and everybody else in the family would turn around and look at me like I was crazy. Like they'd look at me like, "This is the day that Pam's gonna die," you know, because I would start laughing when my dad was having one of his tantrum problems. But like I remember one time it was so funny. We were out camping and arrowhead hunting in the middle of nowhere, and we had this big wall tent. And my dad always woke up really grumpy and had to have his coffee immediately, right? He was like a bear, waking a bear up until he had his first cup of coffee. So my mom and his kids woke up early, and we were kind of poking around outside the camp hunting arrowheads and stuff. And we hear this roar like a bear, and we knew that was my dad. He woke up, time to go fix his coffee. And mom had like a camp stove and a camping coffee pot. So she goes running into the tent to get his coffee going. And we're just kind of standing around outside. And all of a sudden, I heard like this roar, and then my mom started crying hysterically. And I couldn't help it. I had to go see what was going on. So I opened up the tent and looked inside. And my mom had been, she'd gotten his coffee ready on the camp stove. And when she was pouring him a cup of coffee, the lid came off the coffee pot, and she poured the whole pot of coffee on his feet in the sleeping bag. And oh my God, I started laughing.
Oh, God.
And I was laughing so hard I was crying. And my dad was like glaring at my mom and glaring at me and then glaring at mom and then glaring at me. And pretty soon the corners of his mouth started to twitch a little bit. But oh my God, I was laughing so hard. I've always been like that. I've always laughed.
He finally thought it was funny, too.
I just saw GRB's comment, a George Carlin quote. That's amazing. Thanks for posting that, GRB.
Oh my gosh, I thought you had read that a while ago.
Oh
Go ahead.
no, I get distracted talking to Pam. I'm single track here, Bob. I can't multitask.
Well, when you said that about shit, I was like, oh my God, did Rack say shit on here? And then
Did
I
I?
saw
Did
that.
I? Did I, Bob?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, I was going to tell you guys a
Spread the
story
word.
about when they changed the speed limit to 55.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the story real quick because I remember it had to have been about 1974, maybe 1975 when they had the gas shortage and changed the speed limit on the freeways to 55. Because I had my first car. I bought my first car and it was a 65 Barracuda.
Oh yeah, nice car.
And being as how it was my first car, of course, I had to get chrome rims for it. And it was like that burgundy color. So I got like some white racing stripes, the kind that you peel off the back and stick on, just pinstripes. Well, I put them down the center of the Barracuda.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did that, when I did the top, I got a little bit of a wobble in them because I'd stick one in and then pull it tight and then lower it, to stick them on there. But the top of the car had just a little bit of wobble in the stripes because I put like two sets on with a space in between them, like
Right.
for like a double stripe.
Right.
And I know you weren't born yet, Jeffrey. Shut up. So anyway, so I had the 65 Barracuda, and when I had a week off work, I decided I was going to go to the beach in Oregon. I was going to go to the beach and go camping for a week. Well, my mom decided that over the weekend she was going to go with me just for the weekend, and then she'd drive back and I'd spend the rest of the week there. Well, she decided to go ahead and pay for my camping for the whole week while she was there. So as soon as her tire tracks cooled off from the driveway at the camping, I went and cashed that in. And I made a beer run into Idaho because at the time drinking age was 18 in Idaho. So I went like from the coastline in Oregon across the state and into Idaho and filled up my Barracuda with cases of beer. But on the way there, to get Idaho, the easiest way is go on the freeway through the Columbia River Gorge. And my dad drove truck there. Like every night he went from Portland to Boise. That was his run. He was a truck driver, and that was his usual run was from Portland to Boise. So while I'm driving through the gorge, I was really nervous that I was going to run into my dad and get killed, right? But they had just changed the speed limit to 55. And I remember when I was going home, I hit like a double line of traffic on a freeway that was going exactly 55, and you couldn't pass anybody because it was just this huge pile up, everybody going 55. So I didn't think too much of it. And I got home, and of course I ditched the beer and stuff, but I was sitting at home with my parents watching TV, and Dad was watching the news. And on the news, they were showing how they did an experiment in the gorge, in the Columbia River Gorge, where they had two cop cars going side by side going 55. And then they had a helicopter showing the pile of traffic behind them.
Oh, God.
And I looked down and I saw my Barracuda in the line because it had that little wobble in the stripe on the top of it. So I recognized it instantly and started talking to my dad to divert his attention away from the TV. I still remember that. I thought I was going to get killed when I saw my Barracuda on the TV. Oh, I know, not that funny of a story, but it just made me think of it.
That's pretty cool, though.
I thought it was a story about senseless waste of beer.
Oh, no, never waste beer.
60s CUDA. Way to go, Pam.
They had like the bubble window in the back.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And And I used to, and at the time it was 8 tracks were the thing. So I
Oh
had an
God.
8 track.
Oh
I had an 8 track player, and I had wires running to the back, and in the very back of the hatchback, I had those speakers mounted, and it would kind of like make a funnel with the big bubble window in the back.
yeah.
It was pretty awesome, believe me. It was a pretty awesome setup for my
Hey, well,
stereo.
Pam, take a minute to explain 8 tracks to these young viewers you've attracted here on YouTube.
Right.
8 tracks are the way that they used to put out music after it was the first thing that came out besides records and record players was 8 tracks. And they were like a cassette, basically. You had
Before though, right? They were before cassette.
They were before cassettes, yes, and they were about that big. They were about the size of a VCR. And then you
Suitcase
had a big
size
player,
these
and I
days.
stuck it. It was a huge player that you had to have for it, and I stuck it like underneath the seat where I could just pop in the music, the 8 tracks underneath my seat while I was driving. But
Explain
yeah,
the misery.
I'm
No
old. I
fast
started
forward.
the first music I ever had was 8 tracks and records. You know,
Well, explain the misery of the 8 track. No rewind, no fast forward.
no.
So basically, it was 8 track. That was what you called it, the medium, but it was 4 channels.
Right.
So you could go like 3 songs on channel 1, etc. So when you knew you were listening to the second song on channel 1, you might be near the second song on channel 2. But you listened to whatever the 8 track played. You didn't have a lot of control over your music.
No, you just listened to it. So you had to make sure you got good music.
But that's the music that we had, the medium we had, so everyone in your car knew that. Oh, it's an 8 track. Okay, let it play.
Yep. And when I wrecked my Barracuda. I was going home really late at night on a country road, and I came around a curve, and there was a mudslide. And I hit that mudslide and just went and then over the cliff. And I still remember, like, the car ended up like, here's a tree, and the car was upside down against a tree like that.
Ooh.
And I fell into the V in between them, like fell out the window and ended up in between the car and the tree. And if the tree wouldn't have been there and the car would have rolled, it probably would have killed me. But the tree was there that stopped the car kind of halfway upside down, and I cut my hand on a barbed wire fence that was on the tree, and that's the only injury I had. Other than my back was really fucked up for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
No
But,
seat belts. No seat belts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no seatbelt.
I remember
But,
my mom stuck her arm out.
I had to like
as a
hand
kid.
over
That was
fist
too
to
bad.
climb up the cliff, like hand over fist to get back up on the road. And I still remember, and then there's nobody out there, so I'm walking down the road listening to my 8-track playing Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon while I was walking away from my wrecked car.
You had good music anyway.
Yep, that was a different generation. Sorry, people that don't understand that, but yeah.
I
But yeah, I
wondered.
still remember I was playing Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon. And I remember on that trip to Idaho, on the beer run, I had a girlfriend with me, and we had to stop. We pulled off into a wheat field to sleep because we couldn't quite make Idaho before we were too tired.
Oh my God.
So we pulled off into a wheat field to sleep, and I woke up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and the sun was just coming up, and it was a beautiful, beautiful morning with the sun shining. And I turned on my 8-track, and it was playing Simon and Garfunkel, the Sound of Silence.
Nice.
And I still remember, that's another time I remember the exact song that was playing, because it fit the moment so perfect. See, now that music was good music, guys. I'm sorry, but that was the time of the best music.
Indeed.
Oh, thank you for the super chat.
Oh, that's my panelist fee. No problem. I'm sure Bob's already paid his.
Nope.
You get paid, Bob. You're the
put
celebrity.
everybody to sleep with my stories.
I get paid.
But I'll tell you one more wreck, because I know Bob's heard this before. But after I wrecked my my Barracuda, which would be a whole story in itself that night, getting home and stuff. But like I say, I'd cut my hand, and I ended up walking to a friend's house, and they gave me a ride back because I had to go down and get my purse. And some off-duty police officers were there at the site of the accident. They were off-duty police officers from Multnomah County, which is in Portland, and I was in Columbia County, in Scappoose, where I grew up. But they had got my ID out of my purse, and they called my mom to see if I was okay, which at
Oh
the
my
time I
God.
wasn't living at my mom's house, but they called my mom to see if I was okay. And my mom turned around and called the Columbia County Police and told them that I was okay. So when I showed up at the hospital to get stitches in my hand, they were waiting for me. Thank you, Mom. And gave me a ticket for failure to maintain control of my vehicle.
Well,
What's
how could
And
she
happening?
then
be?
the one thing she did that was cool, though, Rack, was she, my back, the next day I couldn't even get out of bed because my back was so bad. I didn't realize it was hurt until the next day. And so I was like a week in bed. And she brought me up this great big antique fish bowl that one of her friends had found at the dump, and it was a huge thing. And she brought me up this fish bowl with 2 goldfish in it, red capped oranda and a solid orange oranda. And I named them Crash and Burn. That was my first goldfish.
I hadn't heard that before.
Oh, you hadn't heard that before?
That's new on Bob even. Crash and Burn. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yep, that was my first 2 goldfish were named Crash and Burn.
Pretty cool.
For a reason was the story behind it. But then I ended up trading the motor out of my Barracuda for this old car that this friend of mine had, so I'd have something to drive to work and stuff, because I lived way the hell out in the country. And he told me when I got it, he said, don't take it above 55. Just don't do it. Keep it. He said, everything's old on it. Don't take it above 55. And this car was in perfect shape. I mean, body-wise and stuff, it was beautiful. And yeah, it was really nice. But one of my brothers-in-laws wanted to borrow it to go into Portland. And I told him not to take it above 55. And when he got back, he told me it does fine after you get it above 55. It shakes a little bit, then it levels out. And the car never started again. The car never started again. And my dad tried to fix it. He says it was in the wiring someplace, but he couldn't find it. So he said, we're going to have to sell it for whatever we can get out of it.
Wow.
And get you another car. So I said, okay, go ahead. I gave him the title and stuff so he could put an ad in the paper and sell it. And when he sold it, he called me up and he says, Pam, he says, I think I made a really big mistake. And I was like, why is that, Dad? And he says, because he sold it for $100. And the guy that came to get it was so ecstatic after he gave my dad the check. And he loaded it up and wrapped it up like a baby onto the trailer and hauled it off. Now, do you want to know what my dad sold for $100? A 56 T-Bird.
Oh, no.
A goddamn 56 T-Bird my dad sold for $100. And the body was in perfect shape.
Oh, wow.
It was navy blue with white pinstripes and white leather interior. And at that time, because I looked it up, at that time it was worth a minimum of $75,000.
Yeah.
Navy blue?
At that time.
Yeah.
So that's my car story. I'm done. You guys talk now.
Well, your 55-mile-an-hour story reminded me, I have a similar story. When my kids were young and becoming of driving age, I thought it was important that they learn to drive a manual vehicle just because, I don't guess there was an actual need, but I thought it was important. So I bought, and I ended up with several air-cooled Volkswagens. And one of the ones I bought was a 69 VW microbus Westphalia camper,
Oh, John.
a 1969 Westphalia camper. I'm talking about a sweet ass vehicle.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I gave it to my son to drive to school his senior year in high school. With the caveat, don't drive to school on the interstate. Stay on the 35, 45 mile an hour roads because 1969 air cooled. Don't push her, just enjoy
Yeah.
it. She's not going to be a race car, but she's going to be the coolest car in the school parking lot, which the resource officer confirmed for me over several phone conversations. Mr. Cross, just making sure. Yes, yes, deputy, that's my car. I gave it to my son to drive. You are free to go over there and say hello to those ladies and gentlemen, search the car, whatever you want to do. You're free to do that. And she said, I don't have to because I know it's yours and your boy's a good boy, but he is drawing a crowd. So one day he was late for school, of course. And what was his solution?
Take the freeway.
Get on the interstate. And what was the result? Blew the engine.
Oh, crap.
Yep. So I'm driving down the interstate, and there's my 69 bus on the other side of the interstate. And I drive over there, pull over, and of course, I don't know where he is. Hopefully in school at school hours. And the 69 Volkswagen Westphalia is just, it's got stuff all over the inside, including a $20 bill. He didn't care, just blew the engine, needed to get to school. So come to find out, the state trooper had taken him to school, dropped him off, and it said, tell your dad if he doesn't get it running or off the road by tomorrow, we'll have to haul it. I think they give you 24 hours or something in Tennessee. Bob may know better than I do. So we got it towed, and sure enough, engine blown. I just happen to have a new engine here rack. If you want one, it's $1,500. Well, that's about what I gave for the old piece anyway, just to have a little toy. And I'm not sure I'm ready to go ahead and replace that engine. He might need to learn what that bus is about again, since he doesn't know how to keep the car off the interstate. That bus didn't get fixed, but we found another bus. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Whatever that lapse of judgment is that humans are capable of. I found another one nearby in Tennessee, and I bought it. Another 69 Westphalia bus. I loved that car. I loved it. The camper popped up. It had a canvas. It slept like 8 people. It was amazing the things it did. It was just so much fun. Okay, here you go. Be cool. Or, ride the bus. I don't care. So he was cool. He was 1 year behind a gentleman in the area named Daniel Norris. Daniel Norris played baseball against my son at a competitive school. Well, Daniel Norris got drafted into the pros and went on to become an amazing Major League Baseball pitcher. And what he was famous for at his ball club, and I want to say it was somewhere in California, maybe the Giants. I'll have to look that. You guys look that up for me. Daniel Norris, Major League Baseball pitcher. He lived, no joke. He lived in an old Volkswagen camper bus in the parking lot of the stadium. Okay, this is $1 million bonus baby. He could have lived anywhere he wanted to. He thought it was cool to live in a Volkswagen camper bus. My son pampered that vehicle like there was no other vehicle on earth. It's a 1969 Rust Bucket that doesn't do 50 miles an hour, but he loved it after that.
Yeah.
Oh God, I remember my son Tucker. He wanted me to teach him to drive, You gotta remember, we lived in Eastern Washington, and kids were driving tractors and stuff. He was only 13, but he wanted me to give him a driving lesson. And like I say, in that country, kids are driving farm equipment. They're driving their dad's pickups from field to field and stuff, So I was like, okay. So going by my house was a dirt road. Like it went like to the highway, and then our house was off of this dirt road. So I thought, okay, so I'll let you drive. You can drive. You got to keep it like 5-10 miles an hour on this dirt road, and we can head back to the house, and I'll let you drive. So I kind of backed off the road into the sagebrush a little bit and switched places with him. And I had a Subaru Brat, one of those little tiny trucks that had the back end. Yeah, I had one of those, a little Subaru Brat, and I loved that little truck. But we're sitting on the side, and I'm trying to tell him how to shift, right? I said, no, you got to like ease off the clutch and barely give it gas at the same time. So he killed it a couple times, lurch and died, and like I'm trying to explain to him how to use the clutch and stuff. So then he gets it going, and he releases the clutch and flew across the dirt road, through into a barbed wire fence so fast that he pulled the great big post out of the ground, and had the wire of the fence was stretched across the front of my truck and left grooves on each fender where it was pushing on it, And we couldn't get out because the wire was stretched across both doors, and those little brats, you're not going to switch seats without getting out. But we finally got him to get it in reverse and back up enough. But yeah, that was his first driving lesson. And you know what I did about it? I went and talked to the farmer, the rancher, and Tucker got a post hole digger and put a new post in and restretched the wire himself. Because that's how the world works.
Right.
I thought you were going to say he backed into you when he finally got it in gear.
No, he just went, like, once he released the clutch and went flying across the road and into the barbed wire fence. And by the time he figured out where the brake was, and I forever, that little truck had two little grooves in the front fender where the barbed wire was stretched against it. Oh. But yeah, that was Tucker's first driving lesson. It reminded me of it when you said that kids need to learn how to drive a clutch.
Yeah, why not?
I've always had clutches. I think I've only had one automatic my whole life. All my cars have always been clutches. My truck that I have now is a manual. Which in this day and age, it's kind of like theft proofing your car, because most kids don't know how to use a clutch. Right.
I had a Volkswagen Beetle when I was in college.
Which one, Bob?
69.
Yeah.
Cream colored.
Nice.
Still had the small dark red tail lights.
Yeah.
Where they made them real big.
One piece back window.
Yeah.
Not the split window. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was the stick shift, and then I didn't have another one till 85, I guess, when I got an 86 BMW, an M3 BMW.
Nice. I sold my sister as a car salesman an M3, and man, super sweet vehicle.
Yeah, it was.
I think my favorite car I've ever had would probably be that Subaru Brat. That little truck would go cool. Anywhere.
I bet it was fun to drive.
Everybody always laughed at my little Brat because I lived in ranching country and everybody had big Ford trucks. And they would make fun of me. But I lived down this canyon, and the first time it snowed, woke up to about 3 feet of snow in the morning, and the roads weren't plowed. and everybody was stuck with their Ford trucks in their driveways. They couldn't get out. And I just locked that little brat into second gear and four-wheel drive, and I just walked out of the canyon.
Yeah, not you. You got it.
Yeah, and then all those ranchers wanted to buy my truck.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Look what she can
Yep.
do. Can you see my bus there?
Yeah,
That's
That
the old
is awesome.
69 Westie.
very nice.
That was a
My dad
barnyard
had-
rescue someone restored.
My dad had one of those when I was not with my dad, when I was a child, and he was on the West Coast with his family. And they were showing me, my brother was showing me old videos, 8mm videos, and they were on vacation somewhere by some water and had it parked and were camping. And brother was a little kid, and the top blew off of it. It was windy.
Woo.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
Yeah, lifted right off.
I remember going down through the gorge one time, which the Columbia River Gorge can get really windy.
I think they didn't have it.
He had a
snap.
canoe tied on the top of the car, and
Oh,
I
man.
was driving, and the whole front end of it just shifted over a couple feet, about gave me a heart attack.
I think these probably will wreck with no. I think you could probably release something and lift it up, but I think they lifted it and didn't snap it back or something. I don't know.
Mhm.
That
It's pretty
cigar
fun.
sign there in front of that Westie, that's the cigar shop in Bristol. We were talking about the race city, Bristol. That's the
Oh,
cigar
cool.
shop in Bristol. Several of the NASCAR people have been there, BT Dubs. But that cigar store is owned by a friend of mine who's a retired Navy guy. His name's Chris, and he has a YouTube channel. His YouTube channel is Resto's Mods Garage with CJ. And he buys these old vehicles and restores them. That's what he does on his YouTube channel, and he owns a cigar store. So he was so happy anytime I wanted to bring my Westphalia down there and park it in front of the cigar store, and it drew a crowd everywhere I went. And now, you know, my I don't know if you know or not, but my car has shifted from ancient to future, and now I drive a Tesla. And
Oh,
he's
wow.
like, please bring that Tesla down here, park it in front of the store, open the doors and the hatch, let them walk around. We'll sell them a cigar while they're here.
Yeah.
So that's my carbon offset when I travel the world looking for birds and claim to be environmentally concerned. I'm not burning carbon fuel to get around domestically. So I'm saving up all of those carbon units for air travel. Not to be better than you, but just to ease my own conscience.
Quit downing us, right?
Yeah, I'm not trying to down you, Bob. Honest.
Don't
Honest,
down
I'm
us.
not. Come on up. Come on. If you think I'm up, come on up. Plenty of space. And I drove a Nissan Leaf for 5 years that I bought used. And, cars carry a certain amount of cool or they don't. So I did without the cool for those 5 years. And I bought it used for $10,000, drove it for 5 years, didn't buy any fuel. And then when I sold it for $5,000. So basically, it cost me $5,000 to drive for 5 years. I didn't buy any fuel, so it was a free car. So that made it a little easier then when I wanted to upgrade to the Tesla, which is a fantastic vehicle. Regardless of what you think of the brand or the owner, it's a fantastic vehicle, and it's expensive. So
Yeah, they
driving
are.
a car for free for 5 years helped me to be able to do that.
Mhm.
And it's at least a lot of fun and lots of benefits beyond that. But once you get your head wrapped around an all electric vehicle, it's pretty cool.
One of our volunteers drives one, and he's a young guy, but you can never hear him coming. I'll be out walking the dogs, and he'll roll up right beside me, and don't even know he's around.
And it's the same on the inside when you're talking or listening to music. It's like it's a different experience all the way around.
I remember, this is off subject a little bit, but I remember when my daughter Courtney, she bought a one of those Nissan Cubes,
Yeah.
which I think is really ugly. I think that is one. I always used to tease her and tell her she could put a if she could put a handle on top of the car and put Hello Kitty stickers on the side. You know, it looked like a lunchbox. But she came to visit, and we went over to the gas station. This was in Montana. And I am not even exaggerating. We went to the gas station to get some snacks. And we came out, and there was a bunch of guys standing around her car with beer bellies and flannel shirts, you know, standing there drinking beer, looking at her car. And we go walking over to her car, and this one guy said, "Is this one of them their hybrids?"
Them there.
And we laughed about that for weeks. We'd look at each other and say, "Is that one of them their hybrids?" Oh my God, Montana was funny. When I first moved to Montana, I moved there from Cape Cod, and I was outside. I was like, I lived there maybe a week or two, and I was outside doing some gardening, and I lived on this little gravel road that went by the canal. And this truck went by with this guy was driving this truck, and he had like a water tank in the back of it, and it was a dead end road, and he went down to the end of the road and came back again and went down the end of the road, obviously looking for someone, you know, right? And he came back up, and he saw me standing in the yard because I was doing the flower beds, and he stopped, and he came walking over, and he said, "I'm looking for so and so," and I'm like, "I'm sorry, but I just moved here, and I don't know any of the neighbors' names. I don't know who anybody is." And he says, "Oh, you must know him. He's an old redneck alcoholic guy, and his wife's a little short gal."
Every neighbor you
And
have.
I'm like, yeah, I looked at him, and I said, "They must really stand out in Montana." And he stared at me for a minute, then he busted out laughing.
Hey, Ozzy.
It took him a minute to figure that I was being a smart ass.
Rack, this is old Milo.
Is it?
It's old Milo, yeah. He looks like
Oh,
Batman.
Milo. You need to get
Silly.
Milo in better light because it looked like
I
Ozzy.
know. Yeah, it
I'm
does.
sorry,
Milo's bigger
Milo.
than
You're
yours.
much better looking than Ozzy. I just didn't pay
He
attention.
is. He knows it. I
He'll
know,
bite me the next time he sees me.
right? So Yazzy's no good.
Ozzy's no good. Look, he's laying in
Milo
the
is.
floor, rolling her eyes like, "You're so bad, Dad."
Milo is black, so it's hard to see him. Black and gray.
Yeah, he's got some white around that muzzle. He's been around the block.
I'll pick him up and put him down. You can see he's not Yazzie.
Yeah, there he is.
He's a big Chihuahua.
Oh boy,
He's a jumbo
chihuahua.
He's a lot thicker than Yazzie is.
Yeah, he's thick. You know,
How
that's
old
a
is he?
compliment now in current culture. If you're
Yeah.
thick,
THICC. Yeah. How
Yep.
old is Milo?
Milo's got to be a 12 or 13 or 14 or something like
Wow.
that.
How old's Yazzie?
Yazzie's 10. A young 10.
Wow. What's that red fish in the aquarium behind you, Bob?
Oh, that's that squirrelfish.
Oh yeah. You know, I told you I went snorkeling in Hawaii.
I know.
And I got some footage. The fish were beautiful. My footage sucks. It's a very tough current in Hawaii. A lot of turbidity because it's just. But my God, the fish were everywhere and they're beautiful. So I pointed the camera at them, and I got some. So I'm gonna try to cut out the crappy parts and send
Oh,
you,
I'd love
Bob,
to see that.
a video of the saltwater fish for you to enjoy or use in your videos however you want to. And you may
Yeah.
even be able to identify some of the fish. I think there
One of
was
my
a Moorish idol and several
Yeah.
wrasses. Yeah.
one of my what I would have to classify as one of my favorite experiences of my life was snorkeling in the coral reefs off of St. John in the Bahamas.
Now, you know, Pam, that's
That was
exactly what
something
my wife said.
I
If
will
you love
never
this
forget that.
Hawaii, you're going to really like St. John.
Yeah, I will never forget that because that was like it was so beautiful, and that was like an experience that I am so glad I did it, and I will never forget it.
Well, the thing about these tropical island snorkeling adventures is you walk right off the beach and you're snorkeling.
Yeah,
It's
well,
not like
we
you're on an adventure, you're on a ship and you
yeah
go out
we
to sea.
we
It's right off
actually
the beach.
we went out to the actual coral reefs on a
Yeah.
sailboat, but I think
Hmm.
at the time it was only like $25 for the ride out there, and it was so worth it. Oh my God, it was so worth it. But I did learn, it was the first time I ever went snorkeling, and this big blue fish, I was watching it, and it went underneath of me. And when you're snorkeling, you don't bend your head to look underneath of you.
Because the
That's
snorkeling
not a good
is in
idea
the
when you're
water.
snorkeling. Yeah. Yep, not a good idea.
Yeah.
It's probably just a little makeup shot. Yeah.
No, it was a bright blue fish. But there was some really beautiful fish in there.
I would love to be
And the
able to
and the
snorkel.
corals were beautiful too. Oh my God.
Yeah. Amazing. And if you're into fish, you're into nature, obviously. And man, when you snorkel, Pam, you've done it. So you get this mask on and you go underwater, under your ears. You're breathing through a straw out the
Yeah.
surface. You're separated from the world. You're
Oh
not on
yeah.
Earth
Yep.
anymore.
It's
You're
like yeah,
someplace
you're
else.
it's like you're by yourself out there. Yep.
Amazing. It's an emotional feeling. It's a mental. It's visual. It's crazy.
Night,
I
Anthony.
recommend it.
Oh yeah, that was like I say, that was an experience that I will never regret doing the time I spent doing that.
Oh, is Anthony going?
Oh, Bob disappeared.
Check this out. Can you see it?
Oh, that's pretty, pretty. Oh, look at that orange sand.
Those
Nice.
are sea turtles on the sand.
Oh, nice.
And that's a heavy surf behind that rock barrier. But in
Yeah.
front of that rock barrier is a protected snorkeling area that
Ah.
was full of fish. It was amazing. Can you
So
make out the
did you
turtles?
get a snorkel with the turtles?
Yes, but they were already up on the beach. They weren't out there swimming around with us.
Mm.
And it's the same thing with the monk seals. The seals were up on the beach.
Nice.
Yeah. So this guy, I mean, those things are like several 100 pounds. And they crawl up on the beach and you walk by and take their picture, but you don't disturb them. That was one good thing about Hawaii. They were protective of their wildlife.
Yeah. When I was on Cape Cod, we were going to go on a seal watch
Yeah.
boat that went out, past the sand reefs where the seals were like having their babies and stuff. And we got there about 9 o'clock in the morning, and
Reef hair.
nice.
Yeah.
But all the boats were booked. There was no room. We couldn't go on a ride. So
Oh, wow.
my daughter
Popular.
and I were extremely disappointed. But we checked around, and there was a boat that would take us out to an island and drop us off and then pick us up at whatever designated time we said, right? So I had him come back about 6 hours, right? So we're at the beach, and it's got a big sand beach and stuff, and there's nobody else there. It was really nice. And like I say, we were really disappointed because we didn't get to go on the seal watch.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter went down to like within about 3 or 4 feet of the water, and she started building a sandcastle. And I was sitting up the bank a little ways reading a book and kind of keeping an eye on her. And I looked up, and she's building a sandcastle, and out in the water, just right off the shore, was like a semicircle around her of seals watching her, like raising up out of the water and looking to see what she was doing and stuff.
That's
It
so
was like
cool.
a different kind of seal watch because the seals were watching her.
Right?
But I got some pictures of it. I couldn't get like all of them into the camera frame, but I got a few pictures, and it was actually kind of awesome.
I'm getting a bad reflection, but that's Diamond Head.
Nice.
And
that's
you've
really
always heard of Diamond Head, right? That's it.
nice.
And on the other side of that, the big volcano crater.
I would
Hey,
love to
can
go
I
to
do
Hawaii
a
someday.
plug, Pam? Can I do a
Yes, of
shameless
course.
plug?
Of course.
So after Hawaii, I designed a couple of birding trails, and I've created Facebook groups from them. Bob, you're a member. Thank you very
Yep.
much for your support. The Kauai Birding Trail. I think it's quality content if you're into Facebook.
It
Nice.
is.
I've got some great photography and bird lists of different locations in Kauai. Ask to join the Kauai Birding Trail on Facebook. I'll get you in there. And also the Honolulu Birding Trail, the HBT, on Facebook. Two separate groups. And I'm uploading content on my Bird Garden YouTube channel daily, just about. We've been back for a week and a half. I've uploaded 5 videos. I have 3 more finished, ready to upload tomorrow. I've done 2 live streams, all on Hawaii birds. And I did record fish in Hawaii. I'm going to give those to Bob because he is a saltwater fish guy. I told him before I left, with my fingers crossed, I hope I see some saltwater fish I can record. And I did. And the video sucks. I'm going to have to edit it down to things that anyone can appreciate and send it to Bob. Let him use it however he wants to, if he wants to. No pressure. But as Pam has mentioned, it was an amazing adventure to be in Hawaii looking at fish right off the beach that I've seen in aquarium shops. It's like, oh my God, that Moorish idol. That was one of the fish, I think, in the
Oh, those guys
movie.
are cool looking.
Yeah, what was the cartoon movie? The Australian Nemo.
Yeah.
The Moorish idols
Finding
in the
Nemo, yeah.
aquarium in the dentist's office. So it was just, and I
That's
saw one. I was swimming with it. It's the craziest thing.
that's the hardest saltwater fish or one of to keep alive, I'm told.
Well,
So
it was off the beach, so constant flow, a lot of current, a lot of turbidity, live coral. I have no idea how you'd keep that alive in captivity, based on how I saw it. But you guys are all invited to join us at the Kauai Birding Trail Facebook group and the
I just put the
Honolulu
link in it
Birding
in
Trail
chat,
group.
guys. The link for that is in chat.
Oh, well,
awesome.
thank you very much, Pam. Thank you for doing it. That's a Kauai Birding Trail and also the Honolulu Birding Trail, which the live stream today on the Bird Garden YouTube channel was about the Honolulu Birding Trail. Both of those birding trails, by the way, I designed.
Oh,
That's why
really?
the Bird Garden YouTube channel logo
Nice.
is a part of that. I've been designing birding trails for 10 years professionally, and I've done it all over the world. So these are just a couple that I did for the Bird Garden channel, and anyone who would visit both YouTube and Hawaii in Honolulu or Kauai. There you go. Here's the birding trail already laid out for you because I've been doing it professionally for 10 years. So there you go.
Very nice.
Thank you, Pam.
You need to do your Wednesday show a little bit later so that I'm awake.
Pam, I'm open to that. The reason that I do it Wednesday at 1 p.m. is because our friend in the fish fam, Rico Stan, said, hey, here's an available time slot without stepping on anybody. So that's why we are where we are. And I'm also available to doing additional time slots should
Yeah.
one
I
be available.
like to catch it when I'm awake, but most mornings I sleep longer than that because I'm up real late.
Yeah, that's funny. I have to get up early on live stream days to prepare for the live stream. You know, it's a lot of clicks to click to get a live stream going.
Yeah.
Is it the same on the phone, Bob?
I think it's easier on the phone.
I don't look good on the phone. I have to get on the desktop to make all this happen.
To make it look good. Well,
Magic.
I don't look good on any either, so I just use whatever.
You look good on everything, Bob. Knock it off.
Well, I've actually gone over by 42 minutes because I was having so much fun.
That'll cost you.
But yeah, I think I'd better probably call it a night. We got people dropping like flies going to bed.
Mm-mm.
They're missing out, Pam. They're missing your show.
Right?
So thank you, everybody, and congratulations to the people that got art tonight.
Indeed.
Don't expect it super soon because I do have to get a taxi to go to the post office until I get my truck fixed.
Gosh.
So it'll be a little bit, but hopefully not very long. And thanks, Rack, and thanks, Bob, and thanks, Terry. I know you're gone, but everybody have a good weekend and rest of the week. And I will see everybody Saturday night.
Thanks for having me, Pam and
Bye.
Bob.
Thanks, Pam. Thank
Good
you,
night,
Rack.
everybody.